right. And we are live. The last word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis, fresh at the campfire. A little Friday evening action, but man, looks like we got some special guests here. What's going on today at the campfire?
We do. The man joining us tonight is an awesome fellow, well known in the community just to be a lot of behind the scenes action. And you may not know him as well, but honestly, one of the greatest guys in the community that, yeah, he's out there. So I'm going to pass it back so we can see if we can get him to blush and turn the color of his background. So here we go.
All right. And welcome to The Last Word, episode number 99. One away from 100, man. And it's another glorious Friday, and we're back in front of the campfire for some more looter shooter discussion. I'm extremely excited about our special guest, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a lord whose shared passion for the Destiny franchise and love for the FPS genre has truly shaped one of the coolest members within our Destiny community. Introducing the community/production manager for the Destiny Community Podcast and the Twitch moderator for our very own Bungie Studio. The Holly Mod of Destiny, and the man who generally finds himself on the Ebontis side of last word debates.
There it is.
You know I had to throw that in. Live from the DCP and making his debut into the realm of the last word. My man, Lord Aries, how are we doing, sir?
Doing really well, man. How are you?
Doing good,
Thanks for
man.
having me
Good
on,
to
guys.
have you in here, man.
Absolutely.
Absolute pleasure, man. Absolutely. How you been, man?
Rough morning, but
I hear you.
better.
Well, we definitely appreciate you making it. We know you weren't feeling too well, and to have you still come by the campfire and talk with us, idiots, about Destiny. we
I'm
really
excited to be on
appreciate
here.
the extra effort. No, seriously, though, all jokes aside, much appreciated, man. No doubt. So, about what's going on in the community and DCP and stuff like that. You want to talk just briefly, just getting started out and stuff.
Yeah, just let people know where you came from, what you've been doing in the Destiny community, how you got so ingrained to get the nickname that you've got, and
Yeah.
give a little explanation because they may not have quite caught that one because even I didn't the
Yeah,
first time.
sure. So like, I kind of got into Twitch with through Watts. So I watched a lot of her like YouTube stuff.
Nice.
So, and then I think it was a video she might have posted saying something about Twitch, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know what that was. So I went over and she was streaming at the time, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. She can like play the game and kind of interact with people. And it just kind of went from there, you know.
That's the
So
addiction
just-
stuff.
Yeah, it's like it just came through.
So I was looking at your history. Like you actually share some similar history to me as far as FPS. So like Halo was one of the earlier games that you started with, right? Kind of same thing for me. I fell in love with that game. Oh my god! You could now which Halo though? Real quick, like which was the Halo for you?
So when I started playing online, it was Halo 3.
Okay. So 3, and then now prior to that, you were with Halo 2 or?
So I hadn't played as much Halo before that at all.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So
But Halo 3 came out, and then I knew friends from high school and all. They were like, "Oh, like check this out." Yeah. So I was like,
So
"Okay."
you were indoctrinated into the Bungie ethos early.
Yeah.
And then from there, you go from that, and then like, what did it transform into? Did it transform like to the cards or anything like that, or did you? Okay.
Yeah. So it was Modern Warfare 2 at the time. That I kind of remember,
Yes.
and just kind of going from like the online from Halo to online Call of Duty, just kind of learning how that game works and just kind of how smooth it is once you kind of get used to playing. It's great.
Absolutely. It was glorious back then. Like
Yeah.
60 FPS. Oh my god, it was something else. And then now to the magic moment. Now, Destiny. Now, were you there? I'm assuming you were there early for like the alphas, the betas, that kind of thing. And what kind of drew you in? What was the hook?
So I heard about like the game itself. I was like, "Oh, Bungie's making another game. Cool."
That's
So-
all it takes, really. But
That's what I think. I love
That's
it.
kind of the start, yeah. So like I heard different things about like, oh, you'll be able to like if someone's I heard stuff like that's not even going to be in the game from what I can understand. Talking about like if someone's like rating you, you'll be able to like pull out your phone and do all this other stuff. I heard all that kind of stuff. It's like, that's interesting. But I mean, that's not there, but
yeah.
just that got me interested, and then when the beta came out, hopped in on the Hunter.
Oh, Hunter class. Hunter's in the building. Okay.
Hunter
okay,
for
we got all-
life, apparently. This
And
man.
then I just fell in love with it. Day one,
Nice.
Nice.
hopping in on it.
Nice. All classes represented today at the campfire. This is good. So I just
Yeah.
fell in love with that whole universe, the whole, what other things were the hook, but besides like specifically, what was it specifically?
Yeah, so just like seeing like a lot of the like the art and stuff that had come out, and then the like the trailers and stuff, it just looked really good. Just the sandbox and everything looked beautiful.
Oh my
So I was like, oh, let me go ahead and check this out.
hmm For me, I agree. I know, like for me, it was the sandbox as well. Like I remember just seeing that back, and the music, that's the O'Donnell days, right? So it's like that orchestra hits. I mean, just the title screen hit. You're like, something's different happening here. Yeah, man. That's
Amazing
cool.
music.
Nice. So you got into that stuff, and then you also you do some. So how did the whole thing transition? I know you said 5,000 with the whole for DCP, correct? Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you've been doing that for a while and stuff like that. And then you also transitioned into a Twitch moderator for Bungie. Like, how did that opportunity happen?
So that was kind of with Pope Bear. Pope Bear was kind of
Pope!
the facilitator. So
Good old Pope, man.
Oh,
At some point, we got to get him on here too.
We got to get Pope
Yeah.
too, yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
wrangle
I'll
that guy
talk
on here.
So
But,
the conversation go down. Go ahead. Talk to us.
Yeah, so so like at the time on DCP we were gonna have some of the Bungie devs on. So we just kind of wanted to get some background information on like how they would moderate for their stream.
Okay.
So we got advice from one of the main guys that runs the Bungie Twitch channel.
Awesome.
Nice.
So he got them in contact with me to kind of like if I wanted to ask questions like, hey, like what's kind of the route for this, that, and the third. So I was like, okay, cool. And then just like, I don't remember when it was, but when they streamed again after that, I went in to do my resub and all for the Bungie Foundation and all that.
Salute.
And I was like, what is this sword here? What's this?
Oh, yeah.
I
They
know
just,
idea.
they just straight
I
up
had no
gave it
idea.
to you. Nice. They just dropped the
Nice.
bomb and
That
you're
man
like,
has
wait,
been
what?
knighted.
Yeah, seriously. The ceremony,
That's
Deej is up there with the sword and like digitally giving you that.
Did you have to bend the knee?
sword,
Did you have to
yeah.
bend the knee? Did he put the sword on
If
both
only.
shoulders?
That would be amazing. You're now a
Yeah.
Bungie mod in
Yo.
Deej speak. That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Indeed, yo, that'd be
I
fire.
dubbed the man to be knighted by Deej would almost be as good as the Queen. Honestly, it's like that'd be pretty amazing.
No doubt, man. That is. Oh, so you just woke up and there it was.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
That's
That's awesome.
How long have you been doing it now?
It's been quite a while now, a year or so, maybe more.
Awesome, man. This is cool, man. This is see the journey. And then, I mean, for me, that story like that, that's like a little bitty dream come true. Anything associated with Bungie, obviously, my love for the studio and their franchises. So to have that connection, I'm jealous. That's awesome, man. Like, salute to you, man. That is really cool, man. You got any questions for the special guest? Because I could keep talking.
Oh no, I had to fix
Okay.
I had to fix your mark there. So
Oh, okay,
apparently
cool.
I had given you the Titan
I got
belt.
Aries in the building. I got questions.
No, that's good. No, my questions basically just when it comes to the Holly mod name that you've got there. So, and I was like, I saw you say that to us as we asked you a couple questions, and you said that, and you're like Holly mod, and I didn't even put the Hollywood together. So, explain who dubbed you of that one, and just kind of how it happened. I'm kind of curious.
So like to be honest, I don't fully know like who was like who. I don't think it was one person specifically, but it stemmed from just like watching Watts for a while, and then I became a mod for her, and that was like PD days, like back when they were on PD,
Ah, nice.
and just watched PD a lot. Was around
Me
their
too.
stream,
Yeah.
and just around like the individual streamers. I was around them.
Nice.
So I started modding for more people that were kind of big in the community. And then I think when I played Trials back in D1 with Robbie and Lumi,
Okay.
they were like, oh, Holly playing with Robbie and Lumi.
I'm getting it now.
He's getting name
Hollywood
drops.
moderator.
Yeah, just name dropping.
He just named you. You see how he was smooth with it?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Lumi.
Little
You know.
name drops.
He real smooth with his
Nobody-
name. I get it
nobody
now. I like
knows.
this Hollywood thing. I like it.
We got to get that more. We got to get it out there so everybody knows how to call you that when they jump in your Twitch stream. Be like, "What's up, Holly? How you doing?"
Exactly.
Oh, it happens. It happens.
No doubt, man. So the joys of moderation, and then for the most part, like, would you say that are you surprised sometimes with some of the things you come across that you had to drop the hammer on, or
No, I'm-
is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like just some of the like good example today is just like people say the craziest stuff in a stream that's about charity,
Wow.
trying to have fun,
Yeah.
and win an emblem. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Fair
No,
enough.
yeah,
And
like,
like,
that's yeah.
get it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's kind of one of the sad things too. Is just I was watching, I think maybe one of the first Bungie bounties or whichever one I caught, and people are just like asking about this or asking about that, and that's not the whole point. It's like, yeah, those are things in the game. They're addressing them and stuff, and that's their only focus. It's like, why are we doing this? We're trying to do like the direct relief and get all these supplies to the people that need them, who are basically on the front lines of everything going on in the world right now. And then that's their only focus, and that's just when it comes back to, guys, it's a video game. Look at the bigger picture here. Like, get out of your stupid little box sometimes. And it's sad.
Exactly.
It's sad, but it's definitely everyone who you're doing those moderations for are very appreciative of what you do, because
absolutely.
it keeps things in the proper direction, which is what they need.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Salute to you, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I've been very vocal. Obviously, we Destiny is a game, one of these live service games. It goes through peaks and valleys. There's going to be times we're upset and stuff like that. But one thing I've always tried to stress is to be, even if you're not happy, to be respectful, right? To not be disrespectful, and to treat people with respect when you're talking to them and addressing. And I know, like I said, I have some people that moderate on my channel and stuff like that. Some of the stuff you see, you're like, wow, like really?
Yeah.
Really? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like, it has no place in this community. And like I said, so keep up the good work, dropping them band hammers on idiots.
Oh yeah.
And creating that positive community. That's very important.
Yeah, the biggest thing that's like, it's simple. Like, you can give criticism, or you can be an asshole.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can say the same. You can say
There's
the
a
same thing
difference.
two different ways.
Yeah.
Facts. There's two different. There's ways to go about voicing your displeasure, and no personal attack. That's the other thing too.
Yep.
People sometimes can't be disagreed without being disrespectful, and
Right.
trust me, we in there and our stuff banned and stuff. Well, luckily, E, I think we had like maybe one, I could think of maybe one time ever someone said something crazy.
What, in
But
yours?
other than that,
Yeah.
I mean for last word, I think for one
here,
for us,
yeah.
just
probably
maybe
just
one time ever. So we've been pretty fortunate, I think.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, been good.
Yeah.
Or not. I will
see
say it's like it's one of those. You know, you're getting bigger when there's more crazy people around. That's typically how that
There you
goes.
go.
So
Yep.
That's probably
I was like, the one I wanted to ask you too is you've moderated a lot of places, and this is not to do anything too specific, but it is when it comes to females who game, they need probably more moderators than anybody. So when it comes to like when you go between somebody like, you know, Bungie or anybody else, or even here, and then you go jump into like Miss 5000 Watts, like she seems like the chillest person ever. She's like ultra chill. But just the fact that like, do you see when it comes to female gamers, like, does she still get like stuff that you don't see anywhere else? Is that stigma still out there, or is
That's a
it
good question.
is it kind of still?
Yeah, there's still a little bit of it. It's not quite as much
That's good.
as I feel like it used to be.
Okay.
And she also has a bit more mods at this point too, so it's like
Okay.
She gets a lot of help.
a lot easier to handle.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. The only ones that like, for me, it's like even on my scale, the ones that come in that truly just come in to say just nasty things that just like out of nowhere. It's like I can't ban them. I can't find the button fast enough, and it's just like I'm pretty reasonable on most things in here. I'll have a discussion with people. Everybody can have their thoughts and things. But I was like, if you just come in here and just say like nasty things, it's like I don't even think, I don't care. Bye. Like, and those are the ones I wish. Those waste your time. If somebody's like saying certain things or they just coming in to be nasty, it's annoying. So no, believe me, all the world of streamers think the mods, you guys do a lot more than people know.
You guys, the unsung heroes, for real. Salute on that.
Always glad to help out.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. But I got any more
Yeah.
Holly questions for the Lord of Holly
The Holly mod, and then so if you guys do not know Aries as well, definitely check him out. His new name to go by. Also, if you'd like to tell him what it is when you're playing the PvP action, he's got a new name, and it's called Aries Carries. So he's got some space in that backpack
Shout
back
out
there.
shout out to Pino for that
Oh,
one.
I can sign up. Can I sign up for that? Let me know.
Aries Carries with the backpack space. This man is tearing it up in PvP. I've jumped in a few matches
Backpack
with him.
squad, bro. Your Warlock need a little help, man. Let me know what platform you at.
We played last
All of them.
night.
There's a little 5-win,
name it, I'm
7-win
on it.
going on.
Like, we played last night, and I was just like, just for a little bit, and I know typically whose skill level I'm getting into when it's out of my league.
Yes.
Like I'll play with my brother, and he's like, "Dude, you're tearing it up right now." I'm like, "I don't normally do this." I jumped in with Ares. I'm like, "I'm on the bottom of the barrel right now. I'm just looking up."
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny because from an ego like I love playing with someone who's really so much better, right? But sometimes from an ego perspective, like say you're doing ban, I know you guys ran ban and stuff
Yeah.
easily,
Yeah.
but like it's like, damn, can I ever get on top of the leaderboard with this guy?
No.
like it's like no. I have Sinister who's in the chat. He's in there. He's one of those guys. Like it's like when you finally get one, it's such an accomplishment that you even have more like kills than him because it rarely happens. So salute, man. That is awesome. So I mean, running PvP hard, running. Now you still running trials in this environment, or like you still doing it, going out there?
So yeah,
Okay.
I've been doing some PC, do a little PC,
Okay.
and
Your
what
platform.
we've been doing is when I play with Riot, we'll try a little PC. And it's like 2-3 games in, it's like, all right, these people got some special aim, as we like to call it.
They got special abilities.
Hearing that word
Yeah.
around.
And
Yeah.
and
Dude's
then it's
talented.
hey, what's up, Stadia? Then we jump on Stadia.
Yo, wait, let me go. So I'm glad you said that. Aaron, I'm glad you said it. Now I gotta ask you because me and you, we on to something with this Stadia thing. Now,
Yeah.
have you jumped over there? How's the environment for the trial? Because that's the reason why I jumped on the free trial. Because I'm like, let me see if for trials because of their environment, it's locked. That it's less of it. So is it clean? How's it looking over?
Yeah, it's really really good. Honestly the queue. I've had the only issue I've had one issue with queue.
Okay.
In trials, and that was game 7.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Other than that, it's 30 seconds a minute in a game.
Now, all right, that's what I'm about to ask you because see, my fear is when I jumped on, I picked up the free trial, and here's the problem: like I couldn't get into a PvP match to test.
So I was like that too. 'Cause when I went to Control, nope.
no one.
I went to
they
Rumble,
stood there.
nothing.
So just
Yeah,
people play
stood there
trials
circling.
there, and that's it. That's kind of like
So they go
it's-
for trials then.
So yeah, so for the most part, I've been seeing more trials, and then I did do a couple Control games recently,
Okay.
which I got into with someone else.
Okay. And how's the wait times on trials per match?
No, not long. I mean, a minute, if that.
Oh, hold on, Sinister, you in the chat, brother? Go get that. Go pick up that Stadia. We doing this weekend, brother. I'm trying to get to the lounge now. And last question. So competition now. How's it? I mean, well, you're a god. You're a PvP beast. But for us mortals, how is it like over there? Like, you know, is it really, you know, like sweaty? Or are you facing competition that you feel like, you know what, I can hang.
So I'd say most of the time it's people that I can hang with, or better.
Okay.
It's kind of a mix of like, because I have a few friends on Stadia, and then I know Riot does as well.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, like I can kind of see, okay, they're in trials, we'll probably match them. But most of the time, yeah, they're easier games. I think the other thing about it is if you use controller like I do, I use controller.
Yeah, Mary's
There
my
you go.
guy.
Yeah.
This
Man,
controller
I'm just gonna,
game.
like,
Let's
remove
go.
myself from this.
Look at you leave. Me and the hunter talk. Oh, he threw it up. My man, what's good? See, this is my brother right there. Aries is my brother. He knew what time it is. Controller gang. And we got the Stadia hustle.
Yeah.
He said mouse and keyboard. Yeah,
So
listen.
like yeah, so
talk
with
to me.
controller and mouse and keyboard, there is input delay. So that's something to get a little used to.
You gotta get used to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you played on a decent sized TV before, the input it's like that.
It's like that.
That's-
So
that's the
it's
delay.
a non-game mode big TV
Yeah.
kind of input. Okay. I
Low
get it.
refresh rate.
Low refresh
And
rate.
then you have the console FOV. That's the other thing. It's like,
Yes, because they can't adjust FOV.
Right.
Yeah,
Other
ease
than
out.
no cheaters.
No cheaters though. See, that's the
That's
thing.
glorious.
I was gonna say,
the-
I don't think they could they? I mean, it's basically through their servers. There's no way they could get a hold of
Yeah,
it.
closed environment,
It's
brother.
so
That's we got Sinister, man. We going down. Yo, get that free trial, y'all. We gonna do a Stadia trials run. I want to see how far I can get on my card. Aries, man, if you're doing them Stadia carries, let me know, man. Hook a brother up, man.
I was like,
it's hard out here.
all this is telling me is that they need dedicated servers for even just trials.
Badly. Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
If they had dedicated servers for trials, here we go. Like then that would level many things. Lag, which is annoying. The cheating and
figure
stuff
out
like
the cheating.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, then at this
Yeah.
like for them, it's like, which is going to cost you more, paying to develop some crazy anti-cheat tool, or is it going to cost more to rent
Or
some dedicated
dedicated.
servers? Like
Yeah.
that,
Facts.
that could be honestly an option.
But here's
so.
here's the technical question, E. Because because they're in the Steam environment, can they even do that? Like I can understand on, well, I guess it's their environment first, and then I just want to know how that relationship works with Steam.
I mean, I don't imagine Steam's like exclusive. I mean, are there Steam dedicated servers? I mean, I know something like Call of Duty uses theirs, but I mean, even if
Right.
it's all just Amazon Web Services, whatever they use, like somebody's just good. They got to get them from somewhere, I would imagine. So.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I guess for themselves, right? And then, but yeah, they've got to solve the issue because again, the fact that, like I said, being Aries, we have to resort to other, specific platforms that have more of a closed environment that's not doing as much as the peer-to-peer stuff as much, but. Yeah, man, it's something that really needs to happen. I know we'll get into it, whether it be a true dedicated. I know they have anti-cheat, not being disrespectful.
Right.
They do say they have it, but clearly, the methods are not working strong enough based on what's going on.
I agree.
So, what I think needs to happen is like one of those Punkbuster kind of things or something that
Yeah.
scans your PC
Correct.
before you
Yeah.
even start.
Gotta have something installed. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that wall, and I think the last point I'll make, and I'll give it to you guys, is that in my opinion, I think it's going on in the background, but I think it's a conversation. It's probably more complicated that they have to have between themselves and Steam as well, because that specific platform seems to be.
Well, it's like, so here's one of those, though. You saw Valorant being played right now, and I was actually, I forget who I was watching. It might have been Layman, possibly. And they were talking about just the level of their cheating client. It gets into the kernel of the CPU. And that's like a level of invasion on your computer that some people do not want to authorize. So, I mean, if you're getting all the way that deep into the hardware of your computer, it's also, if software has access to that, then people could potentially, obviously, create something to piggyback off of that and screw your computer over. So there's a point where, again, that's kind of the development side of what people want. It's like, and they also still had like they banned 70,000 cheaters. So if you still have something that deep in there, and they're still having to ban that many people, obviously it's not working that well. So it's like, so I mean, they're everywhere, and that's kind of the thing about PC is like it's something people can deal with because it's just an open computer.
It kind of comes with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, when you saw the 300,000 downloads of that one cheat tool or whatever, that one kind of stings a little bit.
Yeah, it's spooky, man, and it's so sad because we understand the climate, right? We understand, obviously we have a pandemic going on. We know they're not as fully staffed. We get it, but it's one of those things that it's almost like a fire alarm because if the numbers are, I mean, look, you got a guy like me who's not playing right now. I took a week off, right? This is rare for me. This during trials, right? My favorite thing, like I'm a PvP guy. It hurts my soul to not be playing. You know what I'm saying? That's how, I mean, my favorite mode is back. E can tell you how much I've been on rant, wanting trials back. Obviously, Banner, yep, that's me. I am Banner, you know what I'm saying? One of my favorite modes for Pinnacles, and it just gotta. You know what it is? Here's my issue. My dilemma is this: E indoctrinated me into PC game, right?
Okay. Yep.
Now by FOV, by 60 plus frames.
You're welcome.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
Right? It's glorious. I
Yeah, it
salute
is.
E every time. I give him all the credit, right? So it's hard to go to current generation consoles.
Yeah.
It's 30 frames and no FOV, and I feel like I'm in molasses, brother.
I tell you what, I was playing last night. I was on PC playing with E, and then jumped over, did a couple games on Xbox with a cool guy and everything for
Salute
to prepare
cool
for
guy,
today.
Yeah, he's on
And
Xbox.
my goodness, I'm telling you, like I feel drunk.
It's true. You feel like you're in, like you're drunk, like you're so slow moving, and I'm
It's
like,
crazy.
oh. And don't get me wrong, 4K HDR on Xbox Series X, I mean Xbox One X, excuse me.
Yeah.
But it's just it looks great standing still, but moving, not
that's-
so much. Yeah. So like shout out to my boy for SETI, man. Like next generation consoles can't come here soon enough. You know what I'm saying? But yes, WD Prescott, I blame E. He got me into the VIP section of the club. I don't want to go do nothing less than VIP now. Like it's his fault.
You've seen the champagne room, and now oh wait, hold on, that's not the right club.
Yes, that's the club.
Different club.
Salute
Sorry,
E.
guys. No, I'm very happily married.
Classic.
Actually.
Yeah, man. It's hard, man. It is once you have that level, man. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But I kind of wanted to ask
Definitely,
you, Aries, as sorry to cut you.
No, please.
No, I just wanted to ask Aries for we've been kind of debating over it for a couple weeks. We have had different people on and stuff like that. But as you the scale of people that you've been playing with trials in a lot of different places, I saw you helped out some people get to the lighthouse and things of that nature. What are your thoughts in the state of just trials right now between the rewards and well, obviously we discussed the cheaters, but where do you feel trials like how did it do in its launch and what do you think it could do to either get better, be good, bad, vice versa? Just what do you think it can do for its status right now?
One. It's like figuring out kind of if we need the tokens at all. If like do we need to get rid of the win condition? So like if you don't get the 3 wins, you can't turn into tokens. It's like I feel like, and then the flawless part's just like, well, what's the point? What's the point?
Right.
Yep.
Incentive.
Yeah, I feel like there's gotta be like a nightfall type reward when you go flawless.
Reach it.
Something like that. If not adept stuff.
All big time.
I feel
how
like-
you feeling
yeah.
on celerity? I'm sorry.
No, I was
Go
gonna say
ahead.
I feel like you like just the adept. I was like that's such a. I feel like that was a wiffle ball miss. Like that was the lob from before that like celerity just like plug it in intrinsically. And that's like people would have been happy with just that. That's it. That would have been a good start.
I agree. Because even back in the day, adept for the most part they just had that. They didn't have that perk, but I believe all they had was like slapshot intrinsically.
Yeah,
on
but
the
it
weapon.
wasn't. It was something like that.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, they really like. I think you nailed it. It hit the nail on the head as far as the incentive areas. Yeah, definitely needing those equivalent or even greater than Nightfall level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like you could if you put a team together, even the Nightfalls can be done pretty efficiently versus a seven win card between everything else that's going on. Like those need to be substantial, and as PvP has been kind of left in the gutter for a little while for like new things and new activities and new stuff to do, like this needed to just like, hey, it blows the doors off of everything. Okay, then go play PvP. Like you needed to give a reason for people, and it's unfortunate where it's sitting right now.
Yeah.
I even
mean,
thought of an idea for like the flawless reward. You know how Menagerie you can go in and put this here, and get this gun. I was thinking about something like that for
That's dope.
for flawless.
That'd
Get your
be
flawless. You get to the chest, but you have I put this here, I get the shotgun, and it could have whatever perk on it
Yes.
if you select that kind of stuff.
You know,
by
like
far
you
the
could
specific
you
role.
could take that even farther to
use the
incentivize
tokens, too.
flawless. Well, you could incentivize flawless, and like the more times you go flawless, the more like you unlock the ability to kind of specialize in what you pick, be it like Masterworks or
Like the
something
runes.
yeah,
Yep.
same
Yep.
thing. Like you could take that another level, and how many more people are going to want to go flawless that way? Oh, dude, that would
Fire.
be because I've heard people mention
Yeah.
like the sundial type pick at the end, but I
Yeah.
like the menagerie chalice
Yes.
type thing because you could actually give that depth. Like the more times you go, you're kind of like building up
Yup,
something
incentivizing
to
the flawless
specialize
run.
even more in
Yes.
trials. So
I love what y'all cooking right now. I'm with this.
That'd be
This
awesome.
is really Yep. Because this way you have a rune system. You get it by going flawless, which then encourages that repetition to go all the way instead of farming just the 3 wins or whatever it is. I agree with Aries. We may have to do something about the 3-win token cashing system. We may have to do something about that.
Get rid of
You know,
tokens?
get rid of the tokens. We all agree. But and
Bounties
just
good.
bring it back to bounties. I think if they do that, those 2 things in the short term,
Yeah.
they'll be okay with the incentive aspect. And then the long term, obviously, we know we have to deal with the hacking and cheating stuff.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's a bigger fix for sure. Well, yeah. So trials definitely coming up this weekend. Exodus Blue, is that the name of it? Is that the map
Yeah.
this weekend?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Favorite.
should be a fun one to watch, at least for sure. There's so many different lanes and playstyles you can do on that one between snipes and up close, so should be interesting to watch that one. What have you, Cognito, been playing in the world of Destiny this week? Or what have you been playing, by the way? I wanted to ask you just kind of how much Destiny or
Yeah.
not, depending.
It's been a lot of not, but
Oh,
I'm kind of embarrassed.
okay.
Kind of embarrassed.
Don't be
but,
embarrassed, sir.
you know what it is? When you love a game like Destiny, when you don't play, you feel like you're cheating. Like I felt
Cheating on
wrong.
your mistress over there.
Yeah, I felt like I was cheating. Shit, this time I wasn't playing Animal Crossing. Stop it. So the thing is, look, Final Fantasy VII is one of my Mount Rushmore games.
There you go.
So we got the Halos, the Destinies, all that stuff. But Final Fantasy VII, like I fell in love with PlayStation. One of the main reasons with that game, that and Tekken. And when I heard about the remake, I'm like, okay, let me look into it. And man, not only did they do a phenomenal job, graphically, it's one of the best looking games of the generation. Let's just get that out. I've never seen a game look as fantastic as it does. It is truly spectacular. So that's the first thing. Then, it truly is more than a traditional remake. And I'm not going to spoil. It is amazing. The battle system is outstanding. I was telling you offline, you would enjoy it because, you come from the Dark Souls realm. I'm not a Dark Souls guy.
I was like, I come from Mega Man, but Dark Souls takes the difficulty. But yeah.
Yes, so he spikes it. But like, I'll be honest, I'm really not a fan of those games. Not because they're not good games. It's because I know my tolerance level, and I'll start throwing control.
Oh no,
but I can't beat.
They're
things.
honestly not for everybody. They're not. But like for those who do play them, they are pretty awesome. So yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. That's why I wanted to speak to you on this. Is because this game is the type of Dark Souls type of combat I like, which is it's challenging, it's multi-phases with certain bosses, with a lot of bosses, but everything is done with this cinematic anime flair between people are talking. It's like you're watching an anime, and you're like, yo, like it gets you in. Could you imagine facing a Dark Souls boss, and then while y'all getting into it, he stops and he's like, okay, Pontus, let's see. It's that kind of
that,
let me
cheesy
bro.
over the top. Yeah,
It's like cheesy over the top. Like I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna show my age right now, but it's like back in the day watching kung fu flicks. You know what I'm saying? Like those, your kung fu is okay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that. So you got all this stuff going on, and graphically, it is the most beautiful thing. So again, the nostalgic pieces for the hardcore Final Fantasy VII purists. Right, then you have this new game, which is like, wow, they're taking it another direction, and I've been indoctrinated. So I had my whole goal when I got it released last week. I was like, I have to finish this game, and it is super challenging. So I beat it finally this morning. It took everything out of me to beat that thing because I'm not a Dark Souls kind of guy, so I was struggling. You know what I'm saying? But it's really, really good. Shout out to Dizzy in the chat, loving this Final Fantasy VII talk. So you know what I'm saying? Shout out to he's a Final Fantasy 6 guy, so he's just mad right now. No one cares about his 6, and it's all about 7 right now. It's all about the gloriousness, the GOAT Final Fantasy VII.
Oh no, I will say
that's what I've been doing.
I was gonna say if they ever do a remake, especially to this level, if they do for Final Fantasy VII for Chrono Trigger, the world is shutting down for me, and that is all I'm gonna play straight through multiple times.
This is my Chrono Trigger, so it's like I'm in bliss. I just beat it, but yeah, I'll be as far as Destiny is concerned. Back on track. I am gonna play Iron Man. Iron Man is one of my favorite modes. I got to get my pinnacles together. You know what I'm saying? And then now that the Trials map is Exodus, I'm definitely getting in that. And Aries to put me on Stadia game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do it this week, man.
Yeah,
get in there.
So that's what's been for me.
And then Aries, what have you been playing this week? In your time,
for the most part, I've been doing trying to get all these Warmind bits. Unfortunately, that was not the person to get. Oh yeah, I got 5,000. I'll just turn all these in real quick.
Oh, you're trying to finish up your bunkers and stuff. I got you.
Just IO. Yeah, so I did a little bit of that on IO. I'm almost done. And then just some Iron Banner.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I finally got my butt into Pit of Heresy. So
yeah.
Woo! I have been working through that over the course of kind of the weeks. I beat it solo yesterday. Word of advice to all of you listening: if you are working for the solo triumph, you can't let your game go back to orbit. You have to do the solo still in one session. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, because I worked a little bit on Tuesday. I got through I'm trying to remember, the Necropolis. I was like, okay, got through that, saw the ogres. I was like, it's late. I'll just go to bed and come back. Okay, cool. Went through the ogres. And then I got to the totem room. That one took a while to learn. So I was like, cool, practice a little bit, went to bed, worked on it some more on Wednesday. And I've been doing it pieces over the day. And then finally it was like, all right, Zolmak. And then it was just like, I got a feel for him, had some stupid deaths, and then finally finished him up. And I'm like, cool, where's my triumph? And I'm like, wait, where's my triumph? Dude, where's my triumph? And then I went to go check, and it was not done.
No.
I was pissed. So, guess what? I got to go do it again. And then after I do that, because I doubt I will go flawless the first time trying it again, unless I'm just ultra cautious, that will be my practice run for a flawless. But yeah, if you are going for even just the solo, you can't go back to orbit. Like, if you got to go to the bathroom or have some dinner, keep moving that mouse, move that character, don't go to orbit, or you are going to not get it to count, which I was like...
So you technically did it, but because of that...
Right.
Oh.
Like, nobody ever, like, hey, I didn't, like, have my brother start an instance to, like, reset me, like I did on Shattered Throne one time. I was like, hey, I'm at this weird section. I kind of want to redo it all. I was like, hey, can I jump into yours? I did, and he left. And then I jumped back in and went through, like, the whole thing, and that didn't count before. I was like, wasn't even that way. Nobody ever touched my instance, and I was just like, crap. So
that sucks.
Yeah.
But I was like, so now I've actually spent a decent amount of time in there and practicing both of the fights. So pretty good comparison in between that and Shattered Throne actually now. So between the two,
Let's get it. You know what? I got to ask the question.
I was just going to say between the two, there's actually a lot of similarities. Because you've got the Necropolis and Erebus, which are like symbols roaming around in different directions, clearing out certain things in a right order. That one's pretty similar. Then you have like the Descent versus the Ogres and stuff like that. So you've got your way to like work through an area and kind of stay safe and got some funky sections. Then you've got your defense or pain in the butt, like very small margin of error section, which is either the Totem for Pit of Heresy or Vorgeth. I always get those wrong. The Ogre in Shattered Throne. And then the boss fight for both is patience, not getting greedy, and don't have stupid deaths. Like for both of them, because that's basically the way you can describe both of those. And you almost like, not to say they copy pasted, they have a lot of differences, but like the theme of the fights actually kind of hits pretty similarly. So what's your question? I'm sorry.
Patience. My
your
question. No, my question is the question. Which is,
wow, that's an epic question.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me drink some of this focus. Somebody, can you guys clip this right here?
Sponsorship, yo, get on that, yo. Look at my man. My man's out here. You know what I'm saying?
Just
Look,
clip it, screenshot it. You know,
Just
right
clip
here.
it.
Last Word Podcast sponsored by
there you go, brother.
Advanced.gg right here. Anyways,
Get that application up.
Aries is hilarious. So, yo, why you?
What?
Yo, you see how he did it too? You see the pose? You see the pose?
like,
No doubt.
I gotta get the shot. You know, zoom in.
We gotta get
dramatic flare. Like,
Seen with the
I
flex?
respect you shooting that
what?
shot, brother. I love it.
Got those arms.
It'll put the guns out.
Hey, I kickboxed today. I actually was lucky enough. I actually took one of my bags from work and brought it home. So I've actually been still
nice. So
able
you
to do that
still
at
work.
home.
That's good.
It's
Yeah.
been nice.
That's cool, man. Stay there, man. I got the Bowflex going. But question. So in reference to dungeon talk,
Okay.
you know, comparative, you are the Nightfall soloist, the dungeon soloist.
I'm
You
gonna
have
give
now
that title to
experience-
Esoteric, but anyways.
You got the title. You got the title here. So my question is, you know, now that you've done both, you know, head to head, which is the better personal favorite dungeon?
See, these are tough because, like, I just literally said they do have a lot of similarities. I would say, I think Pit is almost a little more interesting. It's like they took everything and they refined it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because
Yes.
they took
That makes
like
sense, yeah.
they took walking around between the Erebus section with the symbols on Shattered Throne. And then they added the fact that you have the sword mechanics to kill the different enemies going between the different levels and stuff. So that one was like added on. You've got, okay, so I'm going to go through like the slowed section. Now I will say the one that, like, when it comes, there's not as much jumping in this one, like for platforming. That's not as much there. It's
Warlock
really,
flew for
no,
proof.
no. I totally forgot. They do have they are almost dad similar because you have the swinging lantern section with the wizards
Oh, yeah,
versus
yeah,
the cathedral roofing that I was
Right.
called like that one. And so, but they took each piece and they added. So like that was just like static, and I could sit there and be like pew pew the ogre from far away. Now there's stuff swinging. I got to find different directions. So they basically took everything from Shattered Throne And my brother, I know, would like it more because it's not black and white, so you can actually see in there. Too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I like the red thematically.
Yeah, just the
of
theme to
Scarlet
it.
Keep.
So,
Yeah.
and they still have the actual phallic wall as well in there, the little joke. So I think overall, I would say Shadow Throne was like kind of like your first one, so it's still really cool. But I think Pit is probably just really they just took everything, kind of refined it, and just took everything up just a little bit. And overall, I kind of like the aesthetic of here's this Taken Witch guy versus here's a giant fired knight dude. Kind of just cooler aesthetic. So,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to tip the hat to Pit on this one.
Yes.
Yep.
So pretty much, all right. So I'm gonna analogy would be, what you call Shattered is the vault of glass, and Pit is your Taken King. That's the King's Fall. That's your ring.
I was like, yeah. I mean, so far of the two, I'm gonna put it up there. Yeah, it's gonna be number one over Shattered. So
Okay.
there's only two of
All
them,
right.
so it's one of two.
Right.
But still, yeah,
One
it's
of-
like
one of two.
it's like when you compare the similarities and just the refinements and the sword mechanics, and I don't know, it was cool. So I enjoyed it.
Nice. Got E to make the tough decision. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. What else we got going on in the world of Destiny, man? That y'all gonna educate me?
Well, one thing, and I sat there and made the longest speculation video I've ever made. The Light Bright Wall, which dates me as well, since I know you know what those
Yep, I
are.
gotcha.
Yeah. For depending on how old you are, you may know or not. But the Light Bright Wall moved this week. So if you guys don't know, in the IO bunker, and I can actually change the background back now. In the IO bunker, you've got some projections basically on a wall showing, hey, this is where we're at for the solar system. This is like the radar of Rasputin showing sun, all the planets, a couple of them aren't illuminated, Kuiper Belt. I learned more about astronomy this week as well, so apparently I'm crazy in that department. But yeah, you've got all these things kind of showing where things are at. And this week, the little orange triangles that were 2 moved to the left about 8 pixels, and now there's 8 of them.
Yep.
So there's all the speculation of like, how long is it going to take? Okay, so I photoshopped. I was like, they moved. There's like what they were 1 ship wide. Now it's 3 ships wide. All right. I was like, okay, so if they move 2 ships per week, everybody has seen different angles on this one, but it's roughly going to get, if they travel at the same pace, which of course you can take that with a grain of salt until we see what happens next week. But if they travel at the same pace, they are going to get to Saturn, Titan, Europa, all that, or Saturn and Titan at least, at the end of the season.
Right.
So my
Like-
Titan theory is looking kind of good right now.
So that's like kind of one question as to like what's coming next season, what's coming
Everything.
in fall as well. I've said all mine in a video, so I definitely want you guys to go first because I've rambled about this a lot. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts of both what you guys think is happening next season and then what you think is happening in large expansion, quote, wherever you want to call that, September, October, whenever that big piece that we typically expect happens next. So
Get it.
guest,
Aries.
sir, Aries, you're first.
So I'm just kind of thinking, and I kind of like the way you kind of did the timeline of it, but I was thinking, I don't know how far they'll go into the ships next season. It'll kind of be like a little dip into it, just to kind of show, okay, maybe they've arrived by Titan or whatever, and they're kind of there, and you kind of maybe can interact with it there. But then, yeah, I feel like the big expansion is going to kind of pull in. It's kind of like, okay, we're finally here. That's who we're fighting.
So you thinking September?
Yeah.
For okay. So we get
Yeah,
it.
September,
Then we get
October.
a taste.
Yeah.
So season 11, you're saying like the ships have like quote arrived, and then season 12 we're interacting with whatever that's going on.
Yeah, like I feel like maybe they'll get even closer to actual Earth.
Oh, wow.
At that point,
Okay.
season 12.
Oh wow, wow. It's exciting stuff. Man.
So what
sorry.
enemy? I was gonna say the other clarification because this can change stories.
Yes.
What is on the ships? What are we going to be facing? Like enemies?
Yeah, that's kind of the question that's up in the air right now. Is because you've seen all the, or you've heard, I guess, all the rumors. Oh, it'll be this race. But yeah, I'm really wondering what they're gonna take form of.
If you had to pick a want, what would you want to see come September?
Definitely. Well, I guess I don't have a specific one, but just more something that we haven't seen before. So not like, oh, well, Scorn's different. Something that's completely
You want
different
like
from
new,
anything
new
we've seen.
models, new enemies and stuff.
Correct. Yeah, whole new enemies, new abilities, stuff like that.
Yeah, we're definitely in need of enemy faction refresh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can we
it's
get a
time.
reskin, guys?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's just the Scorn, we're cute. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
annoying.
They were cute, but you know, at the end of the day, we need a definite, a fresh pan of paint of enemy types. You know, and I would love it. It seems so ahead of schedule. I'm struggling with the Aries a little bit because obviously I was assuming my timeline was assuming D3 we would get them, but it does make sense because with them separating from Activision, you know what I'm saying, and we know Activision that wants the hard and fast rules every 2-3 years at a specific time, and they may have said, you know what, 2020 we're not ready for a D3 or whatever it is. And they may have said to themselves, "We'll do it we'll stretch this thing out, and maybe the arrival is kind of what you said. We'll get that in September." So, yeah, I'm excited. Man. I would love to see them set this thing up right. And one thing is, much as we're complaining about season of Worthy, some people are, is that I do love tuning in to a Rasputin bunker and seeing Space Doritos getting closer.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
So, couple things. Actually, I'll get to my whole crap here in a minute. Cognito, you're up. No, you're up. What do you think? What do you want? Season 11, season 12. Yeah, I gotta get your speculations on record.
Yeah, man. I mean, just pretty much a repeat of what was said. I mean, what I want is, like I said last word was Titan gotta go. Titan's gotta go.
So you think that one's actually like gone?
Yeah, I love you, Sloan, but we need some glorious death going on. We need some destruction. We need to feel the weight of the Space Doritos. We need to know that they are here, they mean business, and there's nothing we can do to stop them, right? So I love the whole angle of, powering up Rasputin, because we know it has to be more than just the almighty, you know what I'm saying? So, because after that's done, obviously we still see the imminent threat. And yeah, it would be like almost if they can do it, like, I would, in a perfect world, want like a doomsday counter. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah, like, yo, they're coming. There's nothing you can do. Almost like a Terminator. You can't reason with it. You can't bargain with it.
It's going to be like a Men in Black. Man, the world is going to die from an Archelian death ray,
type.
or...
Yes.
It's like, that's just another Tuesday.
They need
Guardians.
stakes. I've said this time. They need stakes. They need genuine fear that, we haven't really had anything since Cade gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need some sadness right now. We really gotta do it. And I think that's the perfect way. And then let's be real, from a technical standpoint, right? From Bungie, like they said, they can't keep expanding this game.
Right. Yep.
So how do
this
you think
game
the director looks? Is Titan like replaced by a pyramid?
could be.
Like
That would be
an
yeah.
interactable pyramid, just like planet
Yeah,
goes
just-
shoom, and then
just
just a little triangle
ominous.
sitting in the
Yup.
corner.
Yeah.
Just ominous sitting there on your screen, and that you got to bring that tension, that fear. They are coming.
All right,
and
so
that
here's.
yeah.
I was like, no, keep going.
No, that's pretty much it. Just the whole. I love the conversation that you highlighted between Zavala and just working out the differences. We have to be a unified front against this thing. But continue.
Yeah. What I want to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
please,
if
Aaron.
what if on the director's screen they were able to add just artwork of ships?
Fire. That's all we want to
Please
speak about. Like,
do.
just get Marcus up in there.
Oh man, can he do a pyramid ship? Man, that'd be like the
Yo,
most
we need a
terrifying
Marcus pyramid shit. Let's hit a
pyramid
Marcus.
ship. That'd be awesome. He's working on his Titan
Yes.
right now. That thing looks pretty cool.
I'm with you, Aries. I like that. I like
So-
that aesthetic.
Yeah, I spent like an hour talking to my brother, and we went through
What is it?
business side of things. We went through like thoughts of what could be coming. So first, because I was saying the same thing you were, I was like, a couple differences, but it was like, so Titan could go, and then he was like, well, what about New Light players and the OG campaign? How do you
Good
actually go through, because Titan's like second planet maybe or third. Like you go through the campaign, talk to Zavala, that whole thing's not going to be there. And again, I know they are going to evolve the game, but you think, hey, you remove Titan, you have to change the rework of how the Red War campaign goes. If somebody bought the
Yeah,
I
that's a
know
good
that
point.
stuff's free, so that's why I was wondering, like, if Titan goes away, how does that work? And I was like,
That's a good point.
He threw that at me, and I was like, well, crap, I don't know.
Well, I
He's
wonder if there's a
right.
way to like. I wonder if there's a way to like segment it in the sense of New Light. You don't have this Titan being gone yet
Yeah,
until you get to a certain point, like in the story or
I mean,
in the
I think
game, and then
that would be nice, actually, if you kind of went through the solar system, kind of looked normal, and then when you finish the Red War campaign, the light comes out, and then there's like this cinematic of a ship coming in, and Titan's just lights shut off or something. Like,
yeah,
that would be a way to do it. But then again, as you were saying, Cognito, it's like that doesn't shrink the game any. That doesn't
Yeah, that doesn't
remove a
shrink the game.
destination. A
I
destination
think
as well.
you almost. This is my suggestion. I don't know if it could even logistically be done, but my suggestion is maybe they say to themselves, "Okay, it's gone, but like how we can still do story missions with Cade, right? Cade's gone, right?
Yeah.
But so maybe it is gone, but it's in like a story director thing or the strikes associated with that still are there." Because I see what you're saying. Here's another question though. There's no there's quests that are tied, right?
I was like, there's Quest for Titan. You would lose
Yeah.
Savathun's song for a strike if you drop
I
a
don't think you
planet
could-
now.
I don't think you could get rid of the strikes. The strikes I think are safe.
But I was
because
like, the
that's in a
strike is
playlist.
half of that planet. If you're gonna like to
Right.
potentially remove a planet for quote growing game can't get too big space, then if you can access the strike, the planet assets per se in the game aren't really gonna go that far.
Yeah, I don't know how that works on
Right.
the back end. That's
Yeah.
that's back end stuff. And I again in a perfect world, yes, I would love Titan to go, but there are some Stone making up some good points. There are some lingering threads that are connected, and how do they separate themselves by getting rid of it? So that
The
is
game
yeah,
spaghetti code.
yeah, spaghetti code, spaghetti.
Right.
This is for the tech guys. This is like your cabling, your wires are all intercrossed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your Ethernet cables all over the place. So
Thorn
Yeah,
strike
this
is on Titan apparently, so you really can't get rid of
Yeah.
Savathun.
yes,
You can't
yeah,
get
I
Thorn.
remember. Yep, I remember. There's another exotic quest that required you to go there for some other stuff. Yeah, it's a tough one.
So
It's a tough one.
sunsetting weapons then would at least allow you to get rid of. We're sunsetting
this
Thorn, and
he-
somehow the
he
pyramid
got
ships
it.
and knocked out Titan at the same time. Man, that was convenient.
He's got Ares
Woo.
with him. Here it
Start
comes.
the outbreak too. Yeah, outbreak.
Oh Lord, here they go. Yeah, yes, E. But we ain't
So-
doing exotics. That's all.
So no, this is like this is what I was wondering is like my brother and I talked through this a little bit, and Savathun is gonna be like the wrench I'm gonna throw into all this. But I was talking with him, and I literally just said the word. He's not as much on the lore. Like there's the world of Bife. We all know who to go watch for that one. But Savathun's a trickster. That's like her kind of title and name and stuff like that. And I said the word trickster, and it triggered in him. He was like, "What about the Marvel Loki story?" So picture Avengers 1. Loki, small, like picture a lieutenant in an army, given a small army of ships. Savathun can come in. What does she want? Well, brother Oryx, Dreadnought.
Right.
That's what I'm picturing for September. Is the same way they did the Moon. Take a remastered, bigger Dreadnought, something they already have somewhat built out. Give it a reskin of some kind, but also
Yes.
give it more depth. Give it some lost sectors. It's our new
Yes.
destination, as opposed to potential leaks and
point.
stuff out there. But like a Europa, that's like a full, fresh.
That's a
You
fresh,
got to
yeah.
build a whole new thing. Like everything's brand new, as opposed to Dreadnought's like, we got some spaces. We can throw, hey, this door open now. There's a lost sector over here. This door's open. You have
like
a lost
that.
sector over here.
I like that.
And Savathun's coming in, and then we can deal with Savathun and also the Dreaming City, which is stuck in a loop because she's the
Right.
cause of that. So,
I like that.
and that the
I
reason,
like that, bro.
because we ended up talking about that to basically say is like the darkness is like Thanos, like the veil is the Thanos, the
Yeah.
bigger enemy farther away. Here's this small army. You can be the little lieutenant. Go see how this goes. Okay, you're probably going to get your butt kicked, but try it. Or Guardians, we're like Avengers. So then we end up fighting Savathun in the raid, somewhere related to the Dreadnought. They build a cool raid in
Thank you,
there.
Queen.
Dreaming City, because of Savathûn, somehow gets its like 3-week thing resolved. Maybe the 15th wish is how we get to the Savathûn. Who knows? Like all this stuff could actually tie together using stuff from D1 and assets we've got without having to build. Like if you're gonna go an expansion and like rumors are this thing is a pretty good sized expansion, like 2 new destinations or something. Like that's a lot of development. It's time.
Yeah, a lot.
And again, this is like they're even more so of a time when they haven't had help for a while. So even when they had Activision's other studios before, they could have been working on like Shadowkeep and other things. Now they are truly on their own. So
Yeah, they're true.
my speculation, and I'll be curious to pick the brain of somebody we'll mention to you guys next week, is basically the fact that like Titan may be there or Titan may be our base to fight the Dreadnought, but the Dreadnought's rotating around Saturn, and the same time like Titan is the moon of Saturn. So like as the ships get there, maybe they're going to the Dreadnought to like set up camp.
Yeah.
So that's my questionable poor theory, but it's
No, I like it. I like it.
Good thought, good
I like it a lot, and I think you actually can, with Titan specifically. I think you can really address both Two Stones. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have the planet redone in a destructive manner, still maintain the initial zones for for quest purposes and stuff like that, but have the new areas and show from a aesthetic standpoint the destruction of it going, and you still you have the best of both worlds. You made a great point with the Dreadnought, how it came in, and I think you can handle it in that kind of like a Dreadnought fashion. I think you nailed it. I like what you and Stone talk about.
Yeah. So the other reason, and this is where the big question lies, is if this is my thought, is because I'm still hoping for that D3 we've talked about. And that's the main reason, is if you go pyramid ships, you have darkness, rumors, speculation, whatever else, but like if you have other darkness abilities and stuff like that, and if there's a light and a dark and anything of that nature, if they turn it into that, it would take a crap ton of work, I think, to put that into D2. So that would be the piece where D3 would do justice to our pyramid ships. I was even talking to CB Gray, who we've got to try and get on here too. I caught his Twitch last night, and he said the exact same thing. He's like, I just want the pyramid ships to be done justice, and if the pyramids are a tease to bigger, like the Savathûn pyramids are not like the Veil, I think that might be like a way to be like, pulled a fast one on you guys, but you still got a big enemy here, so could be a nice way to mess with everybody.
Yeah, man. Agree. I like this, man. It's exciting. It's exciting.
I will say I learned like the scale of our solar system. Small fact for you guys. The distance from the sun to the earth is one, quote, astronomical unit. That's what it's called. Literally, whatever. It's like 150 million kilometers, some ridiculous distance. But sun to earth is one astronomical unit. Now, the sun to Neptune, which on our little projection board that you guys can see if you're watching the video, that is 30 astronomical units. So it's a hell of a ways out there.
Yeah.
And then the Kuiper belt that is next to Neptune all the way out to there is 30 all the way out to 50. It is like a width of 20 astronomical units wide. So the distance from the Earth to the sun, multiply that by 20, that's how big the Kuiper belt is.
Crazy.
And they're outside of that right now.
And they're outside of that, right?
Right.
So
Now you want to know the best part? So Pluto's not a planet anymore. It's called a centaur. It's like a dwarf, whatever they're called. There's a couple of those out there. Nessus has got its weird ass orbit. It's really a funky orbit. Pluto's out there, but the biggest one that is at like 70 or 90 astronomical units away. You want to know what it's called?
What?
It's called Eris.
Yeah.
Really?
Dead serious. And I was like, "Are you? Come on, Bungie. Jeez, they're always
Really?
good at that stuff." Yeah, it's called one of the biggest centaurs past the Kuiper belt is called Eris.
ER?
Eris. It's spelled the exact same way.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So I was like digging into all of this astronomy stuff, and I'm like, damn it, Bungie. So like the object, like the unlit one past the Kuiper belt that they're like flying over right now,
Yeah.
could be literally flying past Eris right now.
This
So-
is great. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I had to share that one just because that's actually pretty cool. So
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I respect it. Yo, real question. WD Prescott. He said, question for the host. Is the growing thought a location is going is because a location should go? Or are we diagnosing a problem we don't know the full story yet? Example, just how much space they have left. What y'all think? What you guys think?
Well, I looked up the size of the game. Outside of the PlayStation copying that's needed for more size, the install is like 150 gigs, so that's always a mess. But it's like it's 92 to about 104 gig between all the consoles. So it's large.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
how
big.
big the destinations and cinematics and everything are, but again, Call of Duty's the same size.
Yeah.
So is removing Titan and adding one destination that big of a thing? Because if you go dig through talking to my brother, dig through the Destiny installation directory, you can look up like cinematics and audio and stuff, and those are of course always going to be the biggest in file size. They don't compress very well. So like, is a destination's like textures and framework and everything, is that the big thing, or what's actually taking up all the space? So we were actually wondering about that, and he was saying, I don't know if it really needs to go because that may not be the biggest chunk.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that's what
Right.
Prescott's alluding to. What you think, Aries?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Like, curious to see like how much a planet would take,
Yeah.
because like you just don't know. But it just seems like they're going that way in terms of the story. So
Yeah, it's a good question. We don't know how close to, empty.
it's
we
like
are.
our
Right,
Sony and
yeah.
Microsoft to be like, you guys can get this big, and we don't know what that is.
Right. It
Yeah,
could be
right.
that too. It could be a current generational threshold, right? Whereas on other platform, or PC or whatever, is not as much. So yeah, these are good things. It almost reminds me of D1 when they were still holding on to the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Yep.
Because they always had to think. You always have to think from a lowest common denominator standpoint.
Right.
Because
How many
as much
standard
as
PS4s and Xbox Ones, not X's, are out there? So
exactly, you know what I'm saying, and that's one thing, and it is interesting because in their mind they say, hey, current, they can push it, but we always got to think about this past
Right.
thing. So
Yep.
to our whole point, which is what we really want for D3, is next generation
Yes.
only.
I want that to be a
Yes.
true next gen game because
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's the whole concept of like the loading speed. We talked about it before, but it's the idea of like the game would be built differently. It's not like drive through this corridor to the next zone, drive through this canyon for the next zone. It's like it's just open. I'm like, I can't even like, because we've been in this type of generation for so long. I don't know if I can picture outside of like Grand Theft Auto, but like what a true open Destiny would feel like, because we've never haven't had it in 6 years.
Yeah.
Get that, GPUs
Get 'em
up,
working.
NVMe SSDs going,
Lightning speeds,
let's-
dude.
lightning speed, brother. Let's do it.
PlayStation, the SSDs that go on the PS5 literally don't exist yet into consumer
Yeah.
PCs right now, and I'm just like, cool.
Yeah,
Also,
it's gonna be crazy.
should be fun. Yeah.
Excited.
I'll be curious. The system requirements for D3 are like, you must have an NVMe. That's the other thing too, is like if they build it for next gen, and it's like they're literally about to say, "Hey, PC guys, your hard drive is too slow," and I'm gonna be like, "I'm sorry, what?" But I
You
was
get
like,
the warning on your
that's-
screen.
Yeah, it's like if they literally make like if they're almost gonna like dumb. I don't know. That's the one thing I've wondered is like both of those are truly running the NVMe SSDs, and not a lot of PCs even go NVMe. They go SSD, which is still fast,
Which the fact.
but not NVMe like and expecting that level
I
of
doubt
throughput.
they go that Bungie goes that specific because you can't alienate so many people. But I can see SSD as a whole. I mean that can't
or you're
be
just going to
that
be looking
hard.
at loading screens or something. every
Yeah,
second.
like
Right.
we got to do it, man. You got to step your game up. It's
gonna
this
be
VIP level.
Different
Just new
generation of
PC right
gaming
here.
coming, so be
Yeah.
very interesting.
Excited, man.
Yeah, so that kind of covers speculation of the light bright wall. So we'll see what comes of that. Next week will actually tell us a lot to see how much they move.
Yeah.
If they're moving at a steady pace or if they just park for a while. Honestly, don't know.
Out Sanity has one last question before we move on.
Yeah.
Question for anyone you have to ask yet. Do you think Bungie could be working on a new engine for D2 and use it for D3? I say no. I
wouldn't.
say they don't have enough bandwidth for that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And that it's going to be D3 only, and D2, as he loves that I call affectionately, the B team is still working on D2. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but
I
this is
will
what it
never
is.
say those words.
It's coming from me. Don't worry.
I
Don't
see
worry,
what you're
Bungie.
saying,
Y'all
though.
can attack me. I've said it. So
Call them
I
the
don't think-
live team. That's so much nicer.
B team. It's cool. It's fun.
Hey, if you guys are
Listen,
ever
man.
thinking about taking us up to Bungie and you don't like that comment, I didn't
Leave
say it. Just
Cognito
remember
home.
that.
Nah, I want to go. But affectionately, I like to call y'all that because we know the A team is doing what the A team do. So yeah. So I think that they're doing D3. But what
Yeah.
do you got to out Sanity?
Yeah,
And
I
that new
definitely
IP
agree.
matter.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like the new engine would make more sense with just D3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be like, it'd be too much of a pain to try and transfer over to a new engine as well as just build a
Yeah.
new game on a new framework. Just build it from the
Right.
ground up with a new engine. Like,
Yeah.
you can use data and all the values of some things if anything carries forward, but D3 new engine, I think you'd have to. I don't know if you could move an engine that's so far down in programming. Not a programmer, by the way, so it could be completely wrong, but I think it's what the game is built on. I don't think you could change that. You could make edits, they do, but I don't think you could build it from the ground up again. So,
What we got going on?
well, if you guys are watching the video, if you guys catch this on audio, try and find the YouTube versions of this either on Ebontis or Iron Lord's podcast YouTube channel. But you'll notice next to each one of us, we have a little emblem or a little class item, which is representing the activity that is coming up next week. So we've got the Guardian Games kicking off next week. And everybody's going to get their little class item. As you guys can see, we all have the gold version right now because, of course, we all expect to win. I should change mine to bronze because I swear Titans are just going to lose. But it is probably going to be duke out between the Hunters and the Warlocks. I think Titans, I just hope we just get comfortable wearing bronze. Maybe not. Maybe all the
Hunters
Titans
get
are just
worried
like, all right, guys, let's show up and band together. But
Maybe all the Antaeus Titans are going to band together.
there you go. See, yeah, the Antaeus Titans are playing too much Crucible, and that's going to let us win it.
That was good.
It's all the crayons. We ate too many crayons. It's fine. But the Guardian Games is coming, and it's a kind of fun, friendly, class-based competition. So we've got Titans, Hunters, and Warlocks kind of literally going at it for, top honors in the Guardian Games, kind of the Guardian Olympics in the tower. And you've got basically a class item for each class. The Titans with their mark, Warlock with the bond, and then the Hunter with their cloak. And they all have a metallic piece to them. And your ranking throughout the day is going to, each day it's going to update, and how you update it, how you were the previous day for the points you earned. Gold being first, silver being second, obviously, and bronze being third. But every day you log in, you don't even have to go to the tower to look. You can literally pull up your character, and it's going to tell you right there. So it's going to change every day, knowing how far you are into this thing. We've also got a couple things in the tower. There's a statue with a lion. What bird is the Warlock one? Is it like an eagle or?
Yeah, I've still. It almost
I'm
like a
not
phoenix,
sure.
but it feels like an eagle. What you think, Aries? I
like
don't know,
almost a phoenix type bird.
yeah,
almost.
I still have to classify what this bird is.
Yeah, it's like whatever bird that is. It's got a
Yeah.
pretty grand looking wingspan. So whatever Warlock bird it is, and then the Hunter with the snake. And there's a statue, and it says every day that statue is going to kind of update which one's the gold part of the statue, and the other two are just kind of stone as who's in first. And the idea behind that statue look is that statue is going to stay in the tower post Guardian Games, and the only one that's going to be gold is the top dog winner. So it's going to show whoever actually wins the whole
Yeah.
games. And then the other piece, your class items, wherever you finish, if Titans are third at the end of this thing, my Titan mark is going to be bronze indefinitely.
Interesting.
Yeah, for the rest
So-
of the year. Yep.
Yep, for the rest. Then they say the rest of the year. I'm guessing, assuming the rest of the Bungie or the rest of the Destiny year. So through fall expansion would be a guess. But yeah. So depending on what color you want to, if you're like, hey, Hunters are the best, and a Warlock walks up with the gold bond, and they're like, check the scoreboard. it's gonna be interesting for bragging rights. So I kind of want to get you guys' thoughts on that before we kind of jump into what you'll be doing for it. Just the kind of foreverness of some of these and kind of the way it's getting updated and stuff like that.
What you think, Aries? How you like?
So overall, I like the idea of just kind of I feel like that's something that we've kind of talked about for a while, just in the community. Just hey, let's get a community event involved like that for all the classes.
Yep.
And I really, really liked all the design. I like all the designs of all the different class items, and it's so. And the other thing I was going to kind of bring up before as we were talking was just the live game. Shout out to Bungie for the live game, just being able to update stuff like that on a daily basis, being able to show who's top dog. That's awesome. That's impressive to me.
That's awesome. I agree. See, we could give credit, E. We give credit to those guys. Listen, man, we know what's going on. We know the bandwidth. It's a cool little thing. Have fun. Let's be real. For fans of Destiny, we've been doing this internally amongst ourselves anyway, right? Because we all
Yeah.
love our class.
Sure.
We love what we made. It's a feel good kind of fun thing. And a shout out to those guys for maintaining, the whole daily, competition aspect. Who's winning stuff. And I love the touch of the colors change and stuff like that. And let's be real, and I said it before, Bungie does well when there's good reward incentive, right?
Yep.
You look at that outfit. We talked about this before, E. We talking about pinnacle game content, and this was a little bit of a mistake we felt with the Grandmaster thing. If you put something like this as a reward, look how excited we get. We're like, yo, I gotta get that cloak. I gotta get this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes people go. And I just want them to look at stuff like this and apply that back to Pinnacle, because sometimes we feel Tess gets a little too much love lately. You know what I'm saying? We love Tess, but we've been shopping at your boutique a lot now, and it's time to put this back into the game. And I think someone had it on Reddit, E, and it was a great point. And again, this is not Bungie Attack Session, but it's just one of those things where it's like, sometimes you lose sight that clothing, ornaments are loot. In a sense, they are loot. They're incentive. So you don't necessarily have to put guns in a roll and all that. You put these type of cool designs and little aesthetics to it and ornaments, man, the player base comes flocking. We'll be running them Grandmasters. We'll be running all these Nightfalls for these kind of things, because people want that visual representation of difficult content. It's a sign of honor. It's a badge. Like, yo,
I'll jump in on that too.
Yeah.
I'll jump in on that. So, Ace of Spades ornament, Trials, Outbreak Prime,
Boom.
Outbreak Perfected,
My man,
Trials.
you nailed
Put
it.
it in.
Aries.
Put it in the chest.
And you know how you even nailed it even further?
Hmm.
Remember they even, again, not to disrespect Test, even when you go to Test now, Outbreak Prime, all that stuff has trial stuff that you could buy. If you have
That's
put that
exactly. Take that
in
out.
trial,
Put that in
take that
trials.
out, put that in,
Yep.
and people will be going crazy. Yo, I got the
Make it
golden Ace of
earnable.
Spades.
Yeah.
You know
Make
what I'm
it
saying?
earnable.
Like,
make
there's
that a
enough
reward,
stuff.
yeah.
There's enough
Yes.
stuff in Eververse. Some of that stuff needs earned. Like, I just got done doing Pit of Heresy. There should be something from there that I can
Bro.
wear. Like, hey, it's a
Bro.
crazy ass crown, or
yes, you should be looking like
anything-
Savathun when you came out.
well, Zomac. Like, I could literally be wearing the Fire Knight's head and like,
Yes.
dude, you look ridiculous right now. How do I get that? Like, yeah.
It's
I was
something
like,
to be
I
said.
solo flawless that, and I got it. And you can even get it as an ornament. And this is my worry about these, is it says you
Yes.
have to wear it, which we'll get to in a second, to actually make your progress on said event. Now there are class items
Yes.
that don't have stats as much, but you
Right.
also still have an affinity you got to pick. If you level it up, then it's going to be expensive to change the affinity. I would like them to give us one of these, whatever, the winner. Like if Titans are gold, Warlocks are silver, and Hunters are gold. I said Hunters. Titans are bronze. Sorry, that's just probably going to happen. But it's like somewhere to go pick up, like even if Ava leaves, go to, say, Zavala and be like, hey, go pick up your ornament for your class item. And you could always put that ornament on there and be like, hey, this is my Guardian Games ornament. Like, I want an ornament of these, and if there's not one, I'm worried. It's like whether it's 2 seasons later, not going to use it anymore. And I would love to be able to have that representation, at least as long as D2's alive, of like, hey, we got third. Hey, we got first. Like, I want an ornament of this when I'm done. And if it's not, I'm going to be kind of sad.
No, completely agree. You
Yep.
you should have that for doing Pit. You know what I mean? Definitely, big time.
Yeah, and then Prescott said it too. It's like the Ship and Sparrow this season, the ones that literally look like they're from the Pit of Sorrow. Why they're in the Eververse? Both of them. One.
of them.
I'll take one.
One we could take,
Yeah.
but come on,
Yeah.
we've got to fix that issue, because you do that. Look how excited we are.
Whisper.
Right? We just
In the Outbreak ones. They're in there too.
Oh yeah, those. Now it was like, in their defense, they did say like the ornaments they sold for Whisper paid for 0 hour.
Right.
So they have said that previously, but it's also everybody's like, hey, when's
a
the
difference-
next one of those coming? Or
coming. Yeah, there's a difference between having it in there. We understand to pay for future stuff. We respect that. but you got to have balance, right? You can't have nothing on the opposite side. It has to be. Right now, the scale is just way too tests and not enough,
in-game
reward in the game.
And they always seem to be able to make seasonal armor for Guardian games. And then there's the Guardian Games armor, and there's the Guardian Games Eververse armor. Like, there's always another set in there. Like, there should be at least a couple more of these some other places. So, yeah, I think we all agree on that one pretty easily.
Yes, big time.
But as for the games itself, we've got a couple things related to it with regards to the event. So we talked about kind of the tower with the statue, the little that's going to kind of update and stay permanent when it's done. But there are also flags actually in the tower that have kind of a height to them, and they say the way it's read, if I can find the thing about the flags, that they actually update almost live. Like, throughout the day, they state that the flags actually update throughout the day. So if, like, those are, like, you log in at noon, and there's, like, the Warlock's way up here and the Titan and Hunter are pretty close, and all of a sudden, like, the Hunter's creeping up. You're like, oh, crap, we got to keep going. So, like, those actually seem pretty cool that they might actually be updating. If they're really going live throughout the day with the flags, I will be very curious to see how that one goes, because we've never had any live representation, even before for the not the lighthouse, but making the lighthouse, the Empyrean Restoration. There was still not too much in the game. I guess there was the little hologram thing that kind of updated, so I guess that did. But I feel like they almost had, like, Bungie had to, like, kind of, they would tweet it out, and I don't know if they did it or the game knew, but, like, if it's the more live stuff that we can actually see, I'll be very curious to see how that goes. But those flags updating live seem pretty cool. And then, of course, we know there's an Eververse Sparrow in there. It says there are 2 new ships and Sparrows parked at the warehouse, so you can go by Eververse and get those. The Sparrow actually looks kind of cool. I'll be honest, that one actually doesn't look too shabby. We've got if you finish the weekly On Your Laurels quest, you unlock a Bungie Rewards Guardian Games box, which looks like it has I'm going to call it a pennant. Basically, it's a little triangular little mini flag, one for each class. It looks like a postcard. I think it's a towel. It looks like a towel underneath the postcard. And then also kind of a pretty cool looking Guardian Games, almost Olympic looking pin. So if you've basically finished the weekly quest, you're going to be able to basically go get yourself a Guardian Games box. Take that stuff home with you. But the way it's going to work is players can pick up medals from Eva and complete them. Turning in medals in the tower podium will increase your team's daily score. Pick up these are the ones that are confusing me, are the laurels. Pick up laurels dropped by other players during Guardian Games to complete medals and advance your team's rankings. Laurels will drop in activities except Gambit and Crucible, where they will be awarded after a match. And I'm trying to figure out, why are they going to drop? Is it like if your buddy dies in the Infinite Forest or something? I haven't quite understood how they're dropping. If you just, like, hang out next to a buddy in the tower and he's just sitting there dunking, like, I don't know. It's very weird. But you also are going to earn those from Gambit and Crucible games, so if you are spending the whole weekend of trials, you're still not wasting your time, which is good. And then you've also got 3 exotic ghosts. So it says complete Eva's weekly exotic quest to claim 1 of 3 exotic ghosts. Complete all 3 weekly quests to gain all 3. Now, I don't know if you've seen pictures of these things.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah,
they are awesome.
Fire.
Yeah, so they've got probably the coolest looking ghosts I've seen, to be honest with you. The Warlock one, I'm going to say you guys kind of win this one.
Woo!
It's a giant gold bird. It does kind of look pretty cool. The blue snake for the Hunter, and then the red lion looks pretty cool. But the gold bird is just like, yeah, I'm awesome up here.
Yeah, that's just I
that
need
one's
that
pretty
in my
sick.
life. I need that on my Warlock right there. Have a whole Osiris theme thing around.
Hey,
wait till my outfit. You're gonna see the outfit when I do it. And the shader gonna be thick.
I see you.
So, but I will say, we just got done talking about earnable stuff. You can actually earn an exotic ghost
That's what I'm talking
There you go.
for a change.
There
And
we
I was
go.
like, okay, little by little.
Yep.
And now the
Baby
big
steps,
question
bro.
is, are the perks on the ghost going to suck? Because if Guiding Light's not on there, I'm never going to wear it,
Guiding
which
Light,
is the
yeah.
problem. Guiding
I
Light
need the-
has to be on there.
I need the speed one. The one
demon?
where
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I have the
Guiding
lunar
Light,
shell.
Speed
That's the
Demon.
only thing that's the lunar shell. Because also the nice thing about the lunar shell that you got with Shadowkeep, whenever you pull it from collections, it's a combo detector for whatever, like a random roll on a planet. So I literally just have 7 or 8 of those between all my characters, and I need nothing else. Now the lunar shell you had to
didn't know
buy,
that.
so I don't know if you have it or not. But
I gotta
that
check.
was the shell to
The
buy when
deluxe
it was
edition
up.
thing.
Oh, I didn't. What? I gotta check.
Oh, I got it
I'm
from
not-
Eververse actually.
I gotta check.
So, but yeah, that like these exotic ghosts. I hope the perks are right. Otherwise, it's just going to be a little annoying. But at least you can earn them, so I'll give them that. They
Yeah.
look cool.
No doubt.
But I did want to ask you guys though, as it says, players can pick up medals from Ava and complete them. Turning in medals to the tower podium will increase your daily score. So one does sound like we've got more bounties, which some people are getting
Right.
tired of the whole bounty thing.
Yeah.
But the other side, you have to turn them into the tower podium. So you can't even like finish it and just like click on it and get the credit for your character. You got to fly back to the tower, go to the podium, and turn it in there. So I was just kind of curious, you guys' thoughts, both on the fact that it's like, here's the other thing, because I got a little couple vital information. Ava's daily reward packages will only be available to players who participate in that day's competition by depositing at least one medal. Daily reward packages do not stack. Ava holds at most one package at a time. So I don't know how this is going to be. Is it pick up one, go to a thing, back to the tower, one thing, back to the tower, one
yeah.
thing. And I'm honestly just thinking, I'm really sorry for consoles right now because those loading times back and
Oh,
forth to
Lord.
the tower, like that sounds painful. So just kind of curious, you guys' thoughts about the, for one, potentially more bounties, and two, the fact that it might be like a one and done back and forth thing. I could be reading it wrong. It's possible.
What you think, Eric?
So, I guess for me, it's if it is, it sounds bounty-esque. If it's go and get kills with a sword. Come on, I'm not interested. If it's go to Crucible and kill like you know how some of the Crucible ones, if you kill like a warlock, like 5 warlocks
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that kind of get you to go and do
class
different.
specific. Yeah.
Get you to go and do different types of content, not just use specific weapons that you may or may not want to use.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit better with
not
those.
locking you in. Like how the Iron Banner thing, people had upset. A little upset.
Yeah.
I could actually think of a funny one. Go do Vanguard strikes and get the most kills in the strike. So you
Right?
can't actually slack. You actually
it's
got to get in
competitive.
there and kill
It's
as much
competitive.
stuff as possible.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Like,
That's
I'm
kinda
fine with that.
cool.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
go do Gambit and dunk the most motes or do the most boss damage or
Yeah, if it's any Gambit, I'm not doing them.
Damn, Ares. No
it's
gambit.
harsh today. Bungie's
He's
like,
harsh
huh.
today.
Bungie just removes the sword from your name.
I gotta hear this. When did we turn away from Gambit? What happened?
How long has it been since I've played Gambit?
Wow.
Too long.
No incentive.
been so long.
No incentive.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. So,
Nope.
but yeah, it's like if they do, yeah, as you said, it's like if it's get 50 kills with an auto rifle and strikes, I'm gonna be like. But as you said, if there's cool ways to make it competitive, like get to the end and be like, hey, I had the most kills in a strike. I played with 2 blueberries. Cool, awesome, done.
Yep.
Or you played with 3 people on your team and you're like, okay, guys, it's on.
Yeah, it's on, baby. I think Outstanding made a great point. One of the positives of the Rasputin bunker bounties is the ore qualifier.
Yes.
So it's like
I
it
like
doesn't
that, yeah.
lock you in. Like if you're a PvP guy, because some of them I'm like, oh, this is easy at PvP.
Yeah,
I
you
can
go
just
PvP.
do this.
One
Yeah.
rocket kill or something, like yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or but like for the PvE guys, they're like, oh man, I don't want to go, but I could kill. All I gotta do is kill this Vex Major, and I know what strike to
Yeah.
do it. And that is a great point. Outstanding nailed it. I love the ore qualifier. Continue, Aries.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
No,
big
you're-
time, big time.
Yeah, they're learning. The bounties are evolving. We're on this like 6 month learning cycle. It seems for basically everything in the game. So hey, how did Season of the Undying go? Well, whatever they learned from there had a chance to make it into this. What they learned from Dawn is probably gonna maybe get into next season, but most likely Dawn's gonna probably go into the fall. So again, we have feedback, and they're like, we committed to our decisions on this stuff like 6 months ago, guys. We can't change it like 6 weeks before launch as we're like refining and testing and stuff. So
Right.
again, feedback, and that's one of the things they've talked about in the TWAB too. Feedback takes time, but like we're seeing these type of refinements slowly trickle in places. And I think the way you guys described the medals for this one, man, I'm hoping some of these come true because those honestly sound awesome. What if in Crucible, like go play in Rumble and you've got to get top 3, or you go in strikes
Yeah,
and kill the
something like
most
that.
enemies, like a way to have a chance to do both. I like so many cool ways this could go. Cross our fingers, I guess, that they work that way.
Yes.
And we've got one more thing related to Guardian games. The heir apparent. The exotic heavy machine gun.
Yep.
So, if you guys have seen the little trailer, there is one out there. Go look it up. It's got a little clip of it actually firing. There has been some data mining and leaks from this thing, so everybody seemed to assume this is where it was coming from. They were correct.
Yeah.
I wanted to get you guys' thoughts, as it seems to be not overly difficult to earn. It seems like it's going to come from this one. We don't know all the steps exactly, but it is going to be coming from Guardian Games. Do you guys think it's going to be, hey, you have to do 9 of 10 triumphs to get this thing? Or how do you guys expect us to have to go through this thing? Or do you expect any type of actual quest, or just like check a bunch of boxes? I was kind of curious your guys' thoughts before we get into the gun itself.
I'm hoping there's at least a little bit of a quest for it. I hope it's just not like, oh, or that, or like if you turn in a certain number of medals or something like that, maybe something to kind of maybe even at that point unlock something for it.
Kind of the way you buy, like, what was it, buy the vow with so many like heart tokens or whatever those things were called, like enough of said activity, like you can actually buy it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it incentivizes continue to play the event, and then having a set amount to then unlock the exotic. I'm cool with that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. If they did a quest, I wouldn't be mad either. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Like
exactly.
official
It'd be cool if
quest.
you could like do enough to unlock the quest. Like you have to start the quest by getting to a
Right.
certain point. I don't know, but I was like, so the gun itself is a heavy machine gun. Seems to be arc. Seems to fire pretty quick and pretty steady in the video as well. The stability
Kind
on
of
it.
sweet business esque.
Yeah, it's like so.
So
It
it's
is. I think I don't know why I thought it looked like it might have been.
So heavy arc. Any special perk? Did anybody reveal that yet?
Not officially revealed. If you would like me to go
Okay.
into leaked.
Yes, let's talk.
The
can we talk
unofficial word about this is the fact that you have to spin it up before you can fire it. So kind of like Sweet Business, it's got to get up. And I think Sweet Business fires slower, but a true minigun for it to fire functionally in real life has to be at full speed, like rotation.
Right.
So then it has to spin up, and then you could like have it spun up and then like fire when needed. But the other piece is if you spin up at full health, it's potentially got an arc shield. Is the rumor.
Okay. I like this. A little defensive action. You know?
Yeah. So seems pretty cool. If nothing else, it does look awesome. I'll give it that. The gun looks very, very cool. Like the aesthetic, especially. And I'm wondering if the picture, because everything we saw in game before, it was all very gray when we saw the trailer preview. The picture in the Guardian Games page has like, it's a little more silver, kind of like polished, a little bit of gold accents on it. It looks a little cooler than it did before, so I'm not entirely sure how it's going to look, but it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like the way it looks. I've always, the Cabal weapons. I like that sometimes we get exotics based on the weapons enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Queensbreakers, bro, is in that theme.
Yep.
This is something that those miniguns, Cabal have been terrorizing us with those for a while when they rev up. So it's cool to get their weapons. I'm pumped for that.
Nice.
Y'all got me excited a little bit, man. Guardian game, I ain't gonna lie.
It could be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, start up on Tuesday.
Start up on Tuesday. I'll do some banner now, get back in the flow. I'm ready.
Yeah. So next thing we've got that is actually ongoing right now. If you guys don't have it, you can actually get the Guardian's Heart emblem. If you guys haven't seen that one out there, for one, it's a very cool looking emblem. I kind of like the, I don't want to say crayon look, but actually they did a really cool way to make it look. I mean that in a cool way because it actually does like, it has a very artistic look to it. Like it's not done like here's this very computer thing. It looks like it's like hand drawn. So you've got the Guardian's Heart emblem, and you get that for any donation of $20 or more. And all of this is going to the direct relief, which is basically supplies for all the people on the front line fighting the virus out there right now. And as of writing the article, they said they've generated over $450,000. That was as of yesterday, and I'm checking right now, and it's at
556.
Yep. 556,000. No, you're good. You beat me to it, but that's all I was going to say is their goal is 700,000, of course. Top donation, by the way, got to shout out the man Pete Parsons donating $7,000.
Salute.
He did it in the first hour. Like I saw, like they were going to like five. They said like I was like, oh, 2, 3, 4, 5,000. Then it went to like 12,000. I was like, what happened? And it was like Pete Parsons popped up with 7. I was like, there you go, sir.
There you go.
So
Yep.
Salute.
Top man
CEO
at
talk.
yep, CEO money, throwing it around. But
Salute.
I mean, he's got to have some change in his pocket, so he's like, all right, here. But of course, in proper Bungie style with 7. But that's a really
Yes.
cool one. So if you got $20, if you guys trust me, times are not easy right now, so it's not easy to ask for anything. But if you can, this is directly again going to all the people who it's medical supplies, all those things for people who are basically on the front lines of this per se. And it's just going straight to them. So if you can. Spare the $20, gets you a cool emblem. Very, very good cause. I wanted to shout that
link,
one out.
And Aries, just salute to Aries. He just put that the link in.
There
the
it is,
chat.
yep.
So for those who don't know, who want to contribute, who can, please do it. It's for a great cause, man. And,
Yeah.
we're all going through this thing together. So it's always cool. And again, we gotta give Bungie credit. They usually very on top of current world situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is again another reason why we love this community so much. And they're
Yeah.
always thinking about these. This is really.
I mean, they did the Nepal one a while ago. I still have
Yeah.
that shirt. They've done the Australian wildfires.
Yes.
They've done the iPads for Kids program as well. So, I mean, they've got so many cool... They're just a nice company. It's hard to...
Come on, that's why,
Yeah.
dude. That's why they're like literally my favorite developer. You know what I'm saying? They're in my top 5. They always, regardless of how you feel, like they always. It's something special about the Destiny. It just
Yeah.
is, and it's not. I'm not trying to fanboy. I've never been around a community like it's when you do the St. Jude stuff and all these things that continue to support each other. It's one of the very best communities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
When you go in there, by the way, when you go in and if you want to get the emblem, make sure you select it as a reward.
Yeah.
And I think there might even still be a poll
Oh.
of who is the bravest class.
oh,
Under Rock
yeah, I
Titan.
saw that.
Gee,
Yeah.
I think it's still there.
Nice.
And then they said it takes like around a week or so. Sometimes it's a day. But
Not
if
bad.
you go to your email, just check in like promotions and check in junk mail. Make sure it's not in there.
Oh, cool. On it.
Yep. See, Aries doing the workout here. Part of that Bungie family there.
Got mine.
Absolutely.
Salute,
Yeah.
Spreading the information.
Now, one other thing I did kind of want to mention is the pre-TWAB tweets that we have seen a couple times in the past couple of weeks from Dylan. So basically what he said is he has been honestly setting expectations before the TWAB actually even comes out. And he's done it a couple times now. I'm trying to find the previous one this week and last week. He's actually just said setting expectations. This is what we're working on. And I'm trying to find that tweet right now. Okay. So here's the example, gives a few short notes, and this kind of leads into where the TWAB actually wraps up. So setting expectations week 2. We will have a timeline for incoming maintenance required for 2.8.1, a list of bug fixes, and a preview for our upcoming seasonal event. We're still working on plans for various feedback items that you've had. Some have short-term mitigation strategies being proposed, while others require long-term systematic changes. Have a meeting at 1 to go over a few topics, but more conversations need to take place before we can commit to specific plans. 1. Sustainability. Is the plan something we can support in the near term, but also over the course of a year of Destiny? 2. Impact. What items in development could handle the shift in resources? Again, people are doing other stuff, so to fix some things pulls people from others. And
Put
3.
that link, the tweet link. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Can you
you're-
put
no,
that
you're
in the
good.
chat?
I'll get it.
I need to read this. This is important.
Yep. Hold tight, guys.
Yeah, link that in the chat, please. I want to read this. Thank you.
So 3, the solve. Does the plan address the issues at hand, or will a proposal only address a portion of the problem space? And unknowns, what other issues could arise from the problem that will then need to be prioritized? It's a tricky dance, and we want to get things right. And that's, again, probably something we've mentioned here before. I know it's like, if you can empathize with what they're going through, it's not just like they flip a switch and stuff gets turned on or instant fixes in any way. So the bottom of the TWAB kind of reiterates this. I want to read this one, and then I'll shut up for a minute.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we come to a close on another TWAB, but we understand that there are some topics that weren't covered on here that you may have a strong desire to know more about. Eververse, literally talked about it. Trials improvements, our plan to address FOMO, tackling the bounty problems, and more. There are also questions like, what about feeling like players can't play their way? What about ritual weapons, anti-cheat improvements, etc.? We've been having frequent syncs to talk about these issues and more. Many of them require a long-term plan with a short-term mitigation to help ease the pain. The last thing we want to do is overcommit to changes that ultimately may be reversed or sign the team up for work that leads to crunch. Again, they're very good about taking care of the developers. They want to avoid crunch like everything because they did that in the Halo days and they don't want to do it again. We don't want to make promises we know we can't keep, so to speak. Over the next few weeks, we'll hope to solidify some plans and get them communicated out. We're looking at what can be accomplished in Season 11, which is coming much faster than some of us can believe. Some topics will be tackled in Season 12, literally the first mention of Season 12, as they require larger scale systematic changes. Thank you everyone who's been giving feedback on Destiny over the years. This train never stops, and we hope to share our next steps with you soon. Until next time, we'll see you out there in the wild. So I wanted to get, for one, I mean, Aries, you can kick off first because I know you've got a pretty good pulse on what's kind of going on out there. Just if you want to either fill people in the thoughts on this one, also just kind of your thoughts on what, the understanding, but also things that you're like, kind of do want to see.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the biggest things that I kind of want to see are the error coding and the crashes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's been haunting way too many people. It seemed like, I guess they fixed something with the tower. They did a tweet with, here it is. They did a tweet, the beetle errors in the tower. They reduced number of people in the tower from 26 to 12. It seems to reduce errors for beetles. But yeah, just stuff like that. The cheating, and then or the anti-cheat as a whole, kind of just somehow get that addressed. That's like the biggest thing for me, I feel like. And then just trials.
Yeah. I would agree, man. I would agree. I think, first of all, E, thanks for bringing this to my attention. I had no idea. I've been too much in the Final Fantasy cave that I didn't realize what was going on.
Totally fair.
But yeah,
a lot
man,
of people don't follow all the Twitter stuff. So
yeah, I missed this, and this is, look, it's important. You know what I mean? We understand the situation, but at the same time, communication and transparency key to quelling the angry mob like me. So I've been angry, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I think this is important. They're explaining why these decisions, take time, and we do understand that, like he's saying, that, if you do one thing, is it really solving the issue or is it a band-aid effect, right? We get that, you know what I'm saying? The only counter I have, everything he said is factual, transparent, and important. The only counter I have to one of the things is with regards to the anti-cheat stuff is because the problem with that, when you have that kind of thing running rampant, you now kill your population. When you guys got guys like me not playing, we got a problem because I'm in that middle zone. I'm hardcore, you know what I'm saying? But also I do casualize it every once in a while. And the thing is, if we are not playing and your population goes down, people are not going to want to come back. So the thing about it is that has to be pushed up. And I believe, who put it up? Shout out to Lono again. He had a fantastic thing going on right now. He actually interviewed, they actually interviewed, or not him, Righty, I believe, with someone who was actually manipulating and cheating. And the problem I had, which was scary, was the ease of use. They have no fear. They're running rampant. And when you have that skewing up the integrity of your game, that now has to get shot up. So shout out to Damage, right? He made a point. They may have to look at saying, look, we have the 3 teams, right? Team 1 working on Destiny 3. Team 2 potentially working on Matter, a new IP. Team 3, which I won't say the names, you'll get mad, is working on, the current live game. So what I would say is you may have to reallocate resources for this issue specifically, because if it kills the integrity of your game, people are not going to want to stay around, and it's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So that to me has to take precedence. And if they can do that, and obviously what Aries is saying, beaver. I mean, we can't have beavers run around. Too many animals running loose.
Yeah, zoo loose.
Yeah, again, integrity of the game stuff has to be priority. If your game is broken and does not work, you know what I'm saying? People are going to not stay here. So that we got to get that done. And shout out to Forsetti. Yeah, the Righty vid was interesting yet depressing at the same time. These guys are really running around like it's the Wild Wild West. They have no fear of being arrested. They have no fear of getting caught. We can't have it. So that's my hope with this. But this is, thank you for bringing this up, because I didn't know Damage and these guys made a response, and I like that. Let's hopefully they can take some real aggressive action on that one part.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing too for them because, I mean, picture like what other, to a sense of like when you're saying pulling resources off of another team, like pulling artists and other things are not going to help like network security. So it's like that team is still mostly going to be the ones responsible for this. I'm not saying like, hey, you got to go crunch and pull in overtime or something like that, but it's like the team that's working on this is not like magically, hey, we got 12 more people. Well, I'm a game tester and I'm an art guy. What can I do? And they're like, nothing, get out of here. You're not going to help me much. So again, it's hard for them to say this is an easy fix, but also it's like if there are 300,000 people downloading it, it's like you guys need to download it and kind of reverse engineer, which obviously easier said than done, but it's like they need to somebody needs to be out there like trying to figure out all the ways hackers are getting in and trying to get the same program so they can hopefully work against them, which I'm sure they're doing. But
this has to come from the top though, E. Like this, you know, shout out to Pete, shout out to Luke Smith, shout out to Mark Noseworthy. You know, this directive has to come from the top to prioritize. It's like an organizational chart at a company, right? We know they have their set plan. We know that there's a timeline for each thing, and we know there's specific resources involved. I don't know which one. I'm not saying which one to suffer, whether it be D3 or Matter, the new IPs potentially, but one of those we got to pull, like you said, E. Just those, whether it be the network security guy, the technical engineer, whoever is on those two, if we could just borrow those resources and bring them on. If it's that simple, I don't know if it's that simple. I could be oversimplifying, but if you know, we literally have to resource manage this right now because it's bad, man. Like I got my boy Sinister in here. We got some hardcore guys, and I get it, you know, the Glads stuff like that. But you know, when you got that, what I consider, you know, the middle population, because I feel like the Glads and those guys, I consider those guys like the 5%. No disrespect, those guys are amazing, but they you know, they run through content, they're expert level with doing their stuff. But then you got guys like me who go at like a moderate to semi-aggressive pace. So us guys are kind of the bigger population, I feel, of Destiny in conjunction with the casual. So when we're not playing, the casuals look to us like, hey, is it good? Is it safe to put your foot in? You know what I'm saying? And if we're saying, nah, man, you know, you may want to take a break, you know, that's not good. That's not overall player health, overall player population goes down. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully.
Yeah. It's kind of the only bad thing about having your ear to the ground as well is because even yesterday I was actually playing with Forte just a little bit in Iron Banner.
Oh, salute.
And there was a guy sniping, and I know there are good snipers. I'm not going to argue. Dude, there are some amazing people who take amazing shots. One was that, but another one literally like whilst sliding down an insanely long hallway still picks me, and I'm like, I know those can be done. But I was like, he would get like bam, bam, 2, double, and I was like, and Ares, it's like there's like you could probably look at it and be like, yeah, that's a shot I've made, and I'd be like, well, then holy hell, you're just so much better than me. But it's like when I was like, and I know they are so much better. I was like, I'm so mediocre at PvP, especially when I jump in like your lobbies areas. I'm like, this skill. Look, I'm just looking up the whole time, like, man, it looks bad from down here. But when I question it, and I really haven't done that as much before, to say, hey, that guy's just damn good, impressive shot. I was like, did he make that shot? Or and I hate that my mind even like thinks about that just because it's so apparent out there right now and apparently easy to get to. And I was like, would you really do it in Iron Banner? And then like, you know, then you're gonna go pull up their Destiny tracker and see what their KD's like and stuff like that. And it's just like what?
Talk about that?
I mean, Ares ran into one of the best ones that it was you and was it you, right?
Yeah. Me, Cool Guy, and Pino.
What you guys ran into? Talk.
This man over here rocking it was on Widow's Court. This man 99% revoker headshot accuracy.
Oh my god!
and when you died, you could see him. Like, so if I'm like, if someone's over here and I'm on this side of the map, if he dies, he would, like, as soon as he would die, you could see the person that killed you. You could see the person like looking towards me through the wall.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what would you like run up and die so your body's like able to look at him and then you can like watch him track you basically?
You could he could see. Yep.
So you're like, you're behind a building, you're like, he knows exactly where you are. Like,
yep. It's basically it's just boxes. They see a box and it says, oh, they're so and so.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like when I was playing, and I'm like, I hate it. It's, you said it perfect. You hate that we have to think that way, but when you're playing in these matches, and you're like, damn, it's like they always know where I'm at. Like, how are they getting to me? Like, it just this magnetism to where I am in perfect setups, and I'm just like, nah, fam. And I'm a person. Look, there's guys that are way skilled. I will give up credit, and I'm like, yo, that was a. Sometimes when I get killed legit, I'm like, yo, that was a good one. That was my fault.
Yeah.
I'm peeking. I got picked. I own it, right? But there's sometimes I'm like, there's no way. They be like, there's no way, fam. This is you are not within the realms of reality with what you're doing to me. No, and I'm not accepting it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the part now. With each death, you gotta question it. It just sucks.
Yeah, it's
And that's where, I mean, you said it earlier, and it's the same phrase I've used. It's like when the integrity of the match is at question, that's when it sets a little wrong. It's like, yeah, I'm going through Iron Banner doing bounties. And it's like, hey, some feel all right. Dude's like, why does this guy feel different? It's like, I know there's like matchmaking and other stuff. Like, I'll have my matches where I'm like, hey, I'm doing okay. Or I played with Ares, or, you know, those things will happen. And then all of a sudden I'm like, dude, like, I know, but damn. And it's just, and the funny thing, like the interview, when they interviewed him and that thing kind of cycled around, he wasn't actually doing the aimbot. He was actually just paying for wall hacks, is what he said.
Right.
So he was just paying for the wall hacks. And as you said, it's like, how do they always know? It's like, maybe he just knows. Like,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But well, remember, we saw the infamous stat, the flawless to the disproportionate version of how many were buying the the hacks. It's you know, the evidence is there. We have enough evidence. It's like,
yeah. So
hopefully
it's-
priorities.
Things are in a tough spot right now. It's just fixes are not simple on stuff like this. And even Forseti brought something up too. He's like, they're out there trying to like get ahead of the cheats, and then these people are apparently charging for it, and they're making bank right now. So they're literally trying to stay ahead of the game. Yeah. The interview said he was paying like $24 a month for just wall hacks. Like, I don't even know what the aimbotting costs.
Bruh.
So
Okay.
it's weird right now. It's like we have a season where next week, and this is another thing actually when it came to stuff that wasn't mentioned. Next week we've got Grandmaster coming. Unfortunately, the rewards there are, we've talked about it,
seemingly not great.
generally
You're
not
thrilled.
generally not great. Yeah, it's like
You're thrilled. You start talking
lackluster.
about how thrilled you are with these Grandmaster rewards. You're hype. I can hear it.
I haven't done a rant video because I probably wouldn't know where to stop talking. So I just kind of gave up. Honestly, I'm going to wait till next week and see if there's anything else that's missed and then maybe talk about it. But generally, it's, I mean, you have a lack of early communication we talked about before, where the people who literally got to level 1060, a dude got there. Those 35 levels don't matter. You have trials that the flawless chest, I mean, it's pretty generally agreed that that's not the biggest incentive.
Right.
And then now the cheating, it's like the perfect storm of two big pillars of PvE and PvP content, along with the cheating on top of it. You're like, we're back in the rough times of Destiny in its Season of the Drifter, Curse of Osiris, the lull content droughts of this springtime always kind of hurts in this game. It really does. And this is getting a pretty bad run for the spring doldrums, to where some people are like, I think Drifter might have been better. When you look back and people joked that like Drifter sucked, but now people are like,
back.
that might have been not been so bad.
Yeah, side by side. I mean, we had Reckoning. We had, you know what I'm saying? We had some things. I know it wasn't well received, but we got to admit, those rewards were way better in Season of Drifter.
They had set bonus armor. Are you kidding?
Set bonus.
Please bring that back in the game.
Bring that back. Facts. You know, we had great guns, Night Watch, spare rations, a lot of these cool
A lot of good stuff.
incentive to really rock out. Was Malfeasance in Drifter?
That was, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Malfeasy. That's my. I like
Malfeasy.
my baby right there.
So-
it needs an exotic perk. I need my perk for that.
It's just it's in a weird place, and it's unfortunately, as you said, like whether you do take a breather or you choose to just kind of like you know, bear down and deal with it. It's not really a great option either way. It's just like, what do you love the game enough to deal with it right now? You might.
Right.
But on the other side, is it something we should be? No. But can things be fixed instantly? There's no light switch to fix them. So it's a patience game. And unfortunately, right now, when they want to be launching their next thing next week, like Guardian game sounds kind of cool, But the Grandmaster that launches next to it is like looking over here like the,
Yeah.
elephant in the room, just like, dude, you messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to real quick. I know we touch it, but can I get my Fell Winters helm, please? It wasn't even mentioned.
Yeah, they talked about that in the top, I think.
I didn't see it. I would like I really like that exotic, and
Now,
I'm
I'm-
like, fine, a PVE exotic. Like, damn, I want it back.
Well, there was
It's like
one... No,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead. No, mine's different.
no, for warlocks, like, one thing, as a warlock, I've always been jealous of a Titan with the Saint 14 helm, right? The effect. They jump in that, enemies jump in that bubble, they got the haze over their head, they're confused. That's a powerful thing. This was my version. Like, I was like, yes, like, you know what I'm saying? It was such a good area control exotic and perfect for Rasputin bunkers when they're trying to infiltrate the zone. Like, I had setups, bro. I had like my ornament coal. I have a build configured for this thing and an outfit, and I can't use it. It's killing me. I want my Fell Winters, and there's no mention of it. I get
Yeah,
nervous.
so all they said was it's just like current known issues.
Yes.
So it's not like, it's
Oh,
gonna
it's-
be fixed.
Oh,
so-and-so.
it's on the current still dealing with list.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Fair enough. Yeah, I need it.
What I was going to mention, though, and this is one that may not even be coming right now for a magnitude of reasons, like it would have been pushed back. But do you guys remember when they mentioned going into the kind of the tease about Grandmasters that they were going to change up the weekly challenges to be pinnacles?
Yep.
That is nowhere mentioned.
No, yeah, that's not. It's true.
So I have kind of a bad suspicion that that's not coming.
Yeah. Expectation. We talked about that.
Yeah, I was like, if
Yeah.
it's not listed, it's not a known issue.
not-
I think if they were going to do it, they would have probably mentioned it. I have a
Probably
feeling.
mentioned it.
So that's another one of those things. It's like, hey, here's more pinnacles. We'll do that later.
Yeah.
Like,
It sucks. It's resource. It sucks that I haven't mentioned, but listen, this is the times we're in. And we're in a tough stretch. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out to Gamma Trap in
know, I
the
was
chat.
about to say,
Salute.
seriously.
That's that. Oh, the Lord gods in there. Got a chance to meet a lot of those people too.
his art also, by the way. Please follow this man on Twitch when he does some art.
Gamma
Find
Trap
this guy,
amazing.
his artist. I think I've got one of them hanging in my room somewhere over here. Or
Yeah,
if I'll ever
absolutely.
find wall space. Yeah.
Met them, Mylan, at GCX. It was amazing. But yeah, it's one of those things. We're in a tough stretch, yo. We know what it is. That's why I'm in this weird place, E. Because I remember when we started this podcast, we did it. It was Flashpoint at the time, and it was during Curse's side. It was in a bad place, but this time I'm not angry because I know what the conditions are. You know what I mean? When I know what as far as the split, and then let's be real, we do know there's a pandemic. Guys, they can't come into the studio, right?
Yeah.
They can't. They're working from home. You're limited. You can't work in the fullest of capacity that you would normally work. So they've got a lot of things going against them. So in that thing, I'm understanding. We're gonna get there. It's just like I said, just a tough stretch. For the people who say they quitting and all that, look, you're taking a break. You're gonna be back.
It was like every season launch, they'll be back. Every
Yeah.
expansion, they'll buy them. But it's like,
Yeah.
but as you said, it's like, hey, if this is the time where you're like, hey, I'm stuck at home. I feel like I'm bashing my head against this wall. Hey, there's this other thing that might be cool for a week. Cool. You get a little
Yeah.
breather. You come back. Damn, these Destiny guns still feel good. It's like the breath of fresh air is actually never a bad thing for this game.
Never a
Some
bad
people are
thing.
just afraid to do it or thought
I
they
learned from a
wouldn't
good
come
podcast.
back. Yeah.
I learned from a good podcast, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Sometimes you take a break. It's good. I got Final Fantasy VII finished. Look
Yeah.
at that.
There you
Not
go.
coming back for Guardian games. So, that's how you do it, man. You be back. It's still the best shooting, best feeling. One of the look. Ares know when it comes to that
100%.
FPS and that feel and how the
Yeah.
guns feel and that skybox,
Nothing like it.
nothing like. That's why we're still here, man. That's why we love this game.
Yeah, it's like Gamma's basically, it's like, people shouldn't feel bad about taking a break. Everyone starts that tweet like, I'm sorry, guys. It's like, what are you sorry for? It's like, hey, I'm going to go check out a new game. Just like, if you
Cool.
put a positive, yeah, there are so many games.
So
Like,
many games.
I
My
never
backlog.
finished
You playing Neo?
Horizon Zero Dawn. I was partially through. Like, I was about 10 hours into Breath of the Wild. I want to play that again. I literally want to go play through Chrono Trigger like every day, but I don't. And Neo 2, apparently, I finally was like, okay, how many missions are in this thing? And I looked. There are 21 main missions outside of stories. I'm on number 7. And I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, there's a lot out there. And if you're like, hey, I need a break, take it and have fun. Some people are content creators. They feel like they might be forced, or variety gaming. Trust me, it's like, it's a hard thing to do, and not all that stuff's always easy. But there are times like, hey, it's like, hey, I want to go play a different game. Do it. You still got to take some mental health at this point, especially as we are all basically stuck at home and meant to stay that way for a little while. And now, even like in Dallas that I'm in, they're saying you should basically mandate a mask if you're out in public on tomorrow. That's starting tomorrow for us.
Wow.
So I was like,
wait, really? You guys
with a fine, possibly fined if you're not wearing some type of face covering for nose and mouth for tomorrow, which is really weird. Dallas is doing that, and then the governor's like, hey, we may be partially opening like movie theaters with social distancing. Like the week later, I'm like, so
Backwards.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that stuff, but please, guys, stay safe. That's all I can say.
Stay safe. Yeah. Use extra precaution as necessary. The cool thing, I'll leave it with this. The cool thing about being a gamer like we are, we're kind of prepared. You know what I'm saying? From a solo isolation standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what to do. We have things we can do to entertain ourselves during these tough times. So that's why I'm very appreciative of being a gamer, because actually a lot of my friends who are not, they ask me like, yo, I'm like, yeah, dude, pick up a console.
Nobody can find a Switch right now, though. No, you can't find a Switch.
Salute on the Switch. I can't help. Cognito can't help you with that. But what I can do is, if you got your PC, you can download some good. There's Game Pass. On Xbox, if you're on a budget, you got all these games. You know what I'm saying? There's a ton of things you can do and play. So use this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Use this opportunity.
Yeah.
I know what you've been in your backlog areas. You've been touching anything?
So honestly, no. Like I don't play much other than like I have Call of Duty. I haven't tried like Warzone or anything like that.
Oh, you gotta try Warzone.
Yeah.
You gotta try Warzone.
I gotta check that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Free to play. I'm not the biggest battle royal guy, but I will say their take on it is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
So
'Cause I've enjoyed
yeah,
Apex. I haven't played Apex in a while, but I've enjoyed that.
Apex is another one, man. Apex is fantastic. I think
Yeah,
they
it's
dropped
fun.
some content recently too, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
New season,
man,
something like
it's
that.
crazy. Absolutely. Lot of stuff to play, backlog, all that good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Take care of it, gamers. Do what you gotta do. Bungie will be back on point. The things are gonna get addressed. Ain't even worrying about it. I'm not even stressing it. And when it does, you're gonna see how it's gonna flip. And listen, one thing I'll tell you about Bungie that's really good is that when they drop a trailer, when they market something new, the feels
They know
come
what's
back like this.
Oh yeah.
It's easy.
100%.
You're muted, E. You're muted.
Sorry. They turned me on to the artist, like the music group that did the Season of the Whirly trailer. I have listened to so much of that freaking music that did the Season of the Whirly trailer. Oh, dude, it's so cool. At some point, if I ever actually could put together a montage that looked good, and like there's a song by that same group, dude, it just fits it like perfectly. You could do this like amazing one. So no, it's like their trailers are still good. They got the hype. That group crushes it. Like the hype group definitely gets it for sure. Like it's kind of nuts how hyped we all get, and we're like, oh, we're back. Okay.
Yep. Some of the best in the business. No doubt.
So, anything else you guys want to talk about this time? I know it's kind of open. Is there anything areas that you wanted to kind of bring up for whether a topic, anything about Destiny, or anything kind of going on just with all the stuff we got that we haven't touched on yet?
No, I think we kind of went over just about everything for the most part, right?
Yeah, man. But Gabtrap got something. He said, what's one thing you like to see upcoming? Observation mode, PvP separated from PvE.
Oh, can I please have like a cinematic camera mode?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would love that to do for one, shooting videos for stuff like what I just described, to like edit a montage or something. But I just want to drop everything off my screen and be able to take a clean screenshot. That's all. I can't tell you how many thumbnails it'd just be like clean shot. Don't have to like switch between weapons or something or all that crazy stuff that I do. Just let me get a screenshot mode and just without just everything on my screen. Just let me have that one. I'd be happy about that.
Yeah.
Sure. Trying to think. Okay. There's so many little things. I mean, I just want we talked about it before with Banner. I love Banner so much. Like when Banner comes around, I always play it. And I just want that refresh weapons.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
I miss when Banner used to debut, a Derwin's Mercy or you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, like you be like, oh, I gotta get this. This is, it was always, because let's be real, they're not doing Pinnacles real, right? And Rituals, we didn't get one this season, right? So
Got the
we
bow.
just need, a kind of quasi meta gun per archetype. Drop one each, season of, each time Banner comes around. And look, I know it's resources. It's probably a resource thing. They're moving in 100 directions. But we've got to put incentive back into Banner. I've got all the Swarm of the Ravens I need.
Yeah, same.
I got all the Claws of the Wolf I need. It's time. The Roar of the Dragon. I'm sick of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time, man. I need some Banner of love, man. I need some flavor. And I think whoever said it, who we had on as a guest, turn the suits, if possible, into ornaments.
Yes.
So I can rock it and change. I can mix and match Iron Banner looks. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, let's get that going. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. Enhanced mods. Yes, I agree. Yes, enhanced
All the ones
mods.
I need.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
most
all
of
the
them.
ones
I
I
always
need.
seem
But
to
new
hover
ones.
around like Iron Banner has them in there.
Yeah, I know.
There's a new swath of them,
Banner's-
but I was like, I still have about 2,000 tokens. So every time I play, I'm like, I'll turn some in. Cool, I got some rolls. All right, I'll probably get more next time. So
Just got my pump action the other day, so I'm happy.
nice.
For my
There you
shotgun.
go. That's huge.
Nice. Oh, you good. You good.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I agree.
Well, so what does the weekend hold for these gentlemen? You guys gonna be playing some trials, grinding stuff out? You finished Final Fantasy. What's on the docket,
Woo!
Cognito?
What's next is I will be getting back into Destiny on Stadia next week.
Oh,
Because I'm going to debut some Stadia trials. We going to see what that's about.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. But as far as backlog is concerned, I'm working on this little quirky game. It's called Phantom Doctrine. It's an older game. I'm a big turn-based strategy guy as well. That's like my second thing. So I'm finishing that, and I got my announcement of one of my favorite turn-based, which is XCOM Chimera. I'm going to be doing that. Gears Tactics is coming, and yeah, we'll do that. But as far as down the road, we got the big guns coming. The Cyberpunks and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for all that.
That Xbox looks pretty cool. That special edition one looks pretty good.
Yeah, that looks nice, man. So I'm excited. As far as game wise, that's what it's. But yeah, I'll be full time Destiny starting. I'll be back in point. But as far as like next week with Guardian Games full time. I want my outfit. See, you give me a nice outfit, something shiny. I'm in there. Squirrel. Let's go.
Shiny object. What?
Shiny object. What? New exclusive? Yes. In game, not in test. Let's go. But yeah, that game wise, that'll be there. What you doing game wise, Aries?
So I'm just a Destiny player, but looking to be. I want to try and see if I can get my comp score up a little more. One more legend for Unbroken.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta
Oh, there
get
you
that
go.
done. Right.
Nice.
You reminded me. I'm close.
Almost done on that. I'm at like 4,400, something like that.
Oh, damn.
And
Pretty close.
get some trials in.
Nice. I might have to exchange information with you, sir,
Yes.
so that I know when you are online and we can
You're
do
like,
this.
how's that dedicated Stadia backpack looking?
Yeah, man. I heard there's room in that backpack. I would love to accompany you on your journey.
Yeah, let's get it.
Salute. We will definitely be doing
By the
that.
way, for
You know
everybody
what
in
I'm
chat, this is not for you guys. He's a good guy, but yeah, it's like we can't all jump in the Aries Carries backpack.
saying? Man,
But if you go check out his
putting my
stream, maybe
request.
he'll be nice. Who knows?
I'm making an appointment. I'm signing his appointment book. I know he's got people on there, but hopefully he can fit me
He's
in
like, I
that
can squeeze you
schedule.
in Sunday approximately at 3:17 p.m. I've got about 45 minutes. You better be on your game. Thanks.
Have his people speak to my people so we can make this.
I don't even have people, so I got to work on that. Apparently, I got to get people. First.
Aries got people.
Aries got people.
That's
Aries
the
got a lot of
Hollywood
people.
right there.
Yeah,
That's
Aries
Hollywood.
got a lot of people. So.
Pretty done.
Well, this has been a blast, guys. I know we're kind of coming towards
Yes.
about 2 hours, so I want to always respect everybody's time. But before you guys go, we will be rating Fallout Plays. He's in the middle of trials, so he's getting back into it. So stay tuned. I want to see you guys over there.
scientist.
But before we go, I want to shout out Aries. Awesome. Thank you for coming on, sir. It was an absolute
for having me,
pleasure.
guys.
100%.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, no, it's been a good time. Definitely somebody with their ear to the ground as much as you've got it. It's great to get your perspective on stuff. So, big time, awesome stuff. And also, kind of want to let Cognito, we'll get to it in a second. But Aries, if you want to tell them what you got coming up, where the best place to find you, best place to say hey, best place to ask for space in that backpack. Let them know where they can find you and what they can expect from you, sir.
So, Twitter is generally one of the better ways to hit me up, tag me, message me, whatever. DCP might have some stuff coming up this week. That's not on it. So we'll see.
Cryptic. You see how that was Hollymod talk. You see how he did it real smooth. That's good media training. You see how he did that? I'm learning, man. I'm learning.
He's been taking Deej night classes, so.
Bro, that was smooth how you did that.
Keep your eyes on the DCP Twitter.
Absolutely.
So see a little something going on there.
Yeah, salute to those guys. Tremendous guys. And
Good people.
and gal.
Good people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then every now and again, I will stream.
Okay.
So it's
Plug
just
that stream, man. Where's it at? Where can people find you?
So we're on that Twitch, right? Twitch.tv/Mr. Aries. It's 2 underscores because I had to change my name. MR__AR3S.
3S. Yo.
And then, of course, the Twitter is MR_AR3S. So almost the same, just 1 versus 2.
Yeah. Yep.
Follow
Exactly.
this guy.
And this is a little, and then I was going to say, this is a little treat for you guys that made it to the end of the episode. So before I send you guys the Fallout Plays,
What's going on?
I wanted to
Exclusive?
let Cognito kind of like wrap up, see what he's got going for the week, but also wanted him to let you guys know next week is our 100th episode. And honestly, we couldn't be doing this without all of you guys here in chat. So 100 is a huge number. And I want Cognito to let you guys know who the guest is going to be next week. So initial tease.
Initial tease. Well, first of all, for me, again, Aries, thank you for coming through. Spectacular. Had a great time. Good guy in the community. Really fun. Really respect what you do over there for DCP and Bungie. So salute to you on that for coming through and talking. Just stop agreeing with Ebontis all the time in the chat. I see you. And I have to
I gotta have
discipline you
somebody
when
on
you do
my
that.
back over here. You got like half
too much
your
with
crew in chat.
Ebontis' side of the campfire, but it's okay. You're still good. You're still good with me. But salute this guy tremendous. As far as me, obviously, you know, on Twitter at Lord Cognito, all that good stuff. Iron Lord Podcast. Sunday we will be doing just a regular episode, talk about what's going on, and then tomorrow for the Final Fantasy VII guys, I'm gonna do a spoiler cast. But enough about that. You know what I'm saying? Like E was saying, you know, we made 100, man. We made 100. You know, we started this podcast again during a time
During
when
Curse of
Destiny-
Osiris, man.
Curse of
Like,
Osiris. Yeah.
Virtual high five. Hold on.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, people are like, why are you doing this podcast when, you know, the game's at the worst? Who's playing Destiny? And you know, salute to E because, you know, that's my Destiny brethren. You know, we love this game, we love to support this game, and it's good to see that I couldn't believe it, 100 episodes. So further ado, you know, the big 100 is coming, and hopefully it's gonna go down. And special guest will be My Name is Bife for the one hundo. So salute to the lore legend, the fellow
That'd be great.
warlock. I'm gonna have some warlock support.
I know I'm gonna be the minority. I'm just gonna like shift on out.
Yeah, man, like tremendous. I mean, who's not a fan of Bife? You know, we've all followed him. We know the lore. We know his passion for the game. So look out for us. Should be same bat channel, but no, our normal time. And I'm super pumped, man. It should be really exciting. So please, for those in the chat, we really appreciate you guys. You guys give us energy and it's fun, and we love doing this show. Salute to you guys on that.
Yeah, so those of you guys that made it to the end, you got a little tease of what is coming next. So I'm going to wrap up the recording, but don't run away, guys. I'm going to send you guys over to Fallout. But yeah, again, Aries, thank you. Next week, of course, the lore discussion will be deep. Should be a lot of fun. And if you guys don't follow Aries, follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch. Same thing with Lord Cognito, Iron Lords podcast. Me, it's Ebontis. I'm the cheetah everywhere. Pretty simple to find. So if you trip over a cheetah and it looks like Ebontis, you found me. So I'm probably going to be working on my Pit of Solo actual flawless runs, and then probably working on Neo. I got a lot of practice. What can I say? And then probably throwing Neo in the mix as well. But for episode 99, still cannot believe 100 is next week. So this
100,
is crazy.
brother. We did it.
Yeah, so episode
Who'd have thought?
99. I know, it's nuts. April 17th. Thank you all. The raid is coming after this. But for this week, Aries, by the way, you've heard us do this. Have you been to the end? How we do the last word? So
It's like, yeah.
yeah, try and say it all together. Okay. So for episode 99, April 17th, it has been the last word.